All right. All right, let's get to it. All right, so the topic, y'all, real quick, keep on tapping, getting them shares in. Let's get this thing going. As y'all come in, get the shares, the tap, subscribe, hit them likes, throw a few gifts if you want to. Put a penny on this thing to just join the team. All that good stuff. Yeah. Have to refresh this thing because this thing was acting up. I had to do a refresh of the refresh. I'm here. Not the UGG. What's somebody coming here with the UGGs for? Let's get to it, man. Old ways don't always work with new people. So I think the whole thing on this, the whole thing on this, I think, and it goes to that last question: do we believe that the older folks are failing us today? And then we can include ourselves. Like, a lot of us, even when we like older than, it could be 1 year younger than us, we're still older, right? I look at it this way, like, why are we going back and forth with these people? What is our intentions? Why are we, is people teaching things out of pride and really saying that I'm trying to help? Like, is people really fighting to be young nowadays? I could throw down just like y'all, stuff like that. So is y'all really trying to help? Or y'all just want to still push this thing where you still think you that same person from back in the day? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we gonna get to this for real. And it goes back to what I was talking about in the last live or earlier when we was talking about some people want to use their age to invalidate certain things. So they create their own block in their own mind. Like, nah, nobody can't tell me nothing. I've been in this world longer than you. Who are you? Stuff like that. But yeah, we gonna get to this for real. Sheesh. Keep on tapping to get them shares in. Why is there a song there? Alter is loading. That's weird. It says she muted, but she's loading.
She in the box for me. Can we tap
Mm.
while we
Up
in the
there.
box?
Not,
Uh oh.
not no more. Yeah, you can tap. You can tap. You can
It
tap.
may be her service.
Yeah, that's all. No, the song was up. All right. What y'all got for this though? Always. How y'all feel about the topic though? First, we can say that though. Cody, what you got for me? Say always don't always work with new people. What you got out there?
So on that, yeah, correct. That's true. They don't collaborate. But for the old ways, the older generation, we can't mix. There's no way we can mix with them. All right. So what I mean by that is, the older generation thinks that we can still get by with one income, and the mother stays home and takes care of the children and cooks and cleans. It can't happen that way no more.
Interesting. Okay, okay, okay. Paul, what you got for me?
Tap the screen.
I think we live in a different time, and I think that when you try to force old information or remedies on people who are dealing with something, a different beast, so to speak, it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
ineffective. And anytime you come to a conversation and you have a preconceived um, expectation of how people are going to react, or you're not coming to take away anything yourself, it's going to be a hard conversation. So, also, I think older people be trying to validate their own horrible choices sometimes. When you point them out,
Mm.
they be like insecure, like, you know what I'm saying? They be like, oh, but that was the time we was living in, and you just don't know nothing about that. That's not necessarily true all the time. Sometimes we just make bad decisions, and it didn't work then, and it ain't gonna work now.
And
So
I agree with that. And yeah, back to what I was saying was, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, everyone seemed happy back in the 50s, 60s, right?
seemed Some of them have a story to tell though. They was
They
having
can't
fun
be
in the
so
moment.
happy if they mad, no.
They was having fun in the moment, but I think on a grand scheme of things, there are things that were, injustice, that was going on, and people really suffered. But I mean, looking at snapshots or pictures or videos, if you look at any generation, we always try to have a good time, right? We try to have a good. People gonna party. It don't matter what they going through. They gonna party regardless. But just to sum up the environment in a party and think that the whole era was like that, you'd be ignorant.
What you got for me, out? Out.
I'm done. That's crazy.
Out.
Okay. That's crazy. So, first of all, these people in the background is actually hilarious. Um,
Right, I had to think of
like that
something.
picture is so irritated.
Oh, mad heads.
Why are they so ugly? That's crazy.
Mm,
They
mm,
look
mm.
they look fun. But okay. So old ways didn't always work with new people. I think I think some old ways still work.
Mm.
I do think old ways still work. I don't this is how like I feel like this when it comes to like women. When we're like, we don't need no men in the world, we only want women. I never want to see that ever. And I actually never
Mm.
want to see the day where it's only young people, because what? I would lose my entire mind. Please no. I think there should be a balance. The only difference is, I think people have given into the idea that once you're older, you can't change your mind. And that's just not true.
Mm.
I don't believe that's true. I believe that as long as you're on this earth, you can learn something. And as long as new people are continuing to come up, new ideas are continuing to arise, you need to be able to learn how to mix those things to continue to grow what's been growing, like, right, to keep that thing going, because you're going to have people come up under you. That's just a fact. And it's not to take away what's coming up, it's to build, mold, and all those different things. And I think some people make the points they already made, like, man, what we see today, we made this, right? And but guess what, we're going to be the same people having to answer to the people under us. It's gonna happen. It's a continuous thing. That's why I don't think that you can have one without the other. I think that you just need to learn how to be in a position that you're in and do the best care and be willing to learn. I think people that are older need to know that you can and will learn from younger people. And younger people,
Mm.
we can absolutely learn from each other as well as learn from the older. But like to a point that poet said, you can't make it seem like you did everything well when we see the broken pieces. That means something malfunctioned. Something didn't go right. Somebody didn't do it with the plan. They didn't go along with the plan. And maybe this is why we're here now. But not to just, I think when older people hear that, they feel as though we're blaming you for every issue. And we can't do that. Because at the end of the day, you still have your own hand in your demise. So you can't give it, oh, my mama, you can't, not for 30 years, you can't do that. I wish you would. Not for 30 years, you can't blame your mama. You can't. It can be a reason as to why your thought process is the way it is, and how you're more mindful because of what you know is to be true. Because, like, here's the thing: once you see something, you can't unsee it. You
Mm.
can't. You cannot afford it. And I think that's where some older people are angry with younger people, because younger people have gotten older and they realize, no, I saw that. No, I experienced, because boy, these parents and friends and aunts and uncles will make you feel like you are the craziest person because you remember something they hoped you didn't remember. So, and they don't want to take responsibility on how you saw what you saw, and they never corrected it when they could have. I think if people were more take the pride out of it, because some young people have pride too, thinking they know everything because they're the young new people. You know how when people come into something new and they're the new hot thing, you can't tell them nothing, nothing. So the older people say, hey, don't let that get to you, man. You just mad because you ain't have it back when you only had two pennies rubbing
Mm.
together. You now you think, and now so you think they're invalidated now. They're invalidated now because they never experienced that thing. But the thing is, principle and law is still going will always be the principle, will always be the principle, right? If you put pride over everything else, you will fall soon. It will happen. It's not no, oh, I'm hating. Just know that's just what is it? What is it? Oh my God. Cause and effect. Cause and effect gonna be here when we gone.
Mm.
Cause and effect will always happen. The only thing is older people understand cause and effect a lot more than new people because we haven't put ourselves out there to see the effect because we're always covered. If you had good parents and or parents are like look watching or whatever, they kind of covered you from that. And I wouldn't say just necessarily good because I think if you don't let kids see nothing, they're gonna grow up thinking nothing exists outside of that. And that's not good either. So you should let them know that there is an effect with a cause. And
Mm-hmm.
that's going to always be true. So you can't be so haughty to think I'm young, new, fresh, can't nobody stop me. Y'all, what? Okay, get drunk and get in the car and see you don't get unalive just like anybody else. Okay, go out there and party and act the fool with somebody and see don't they pop that thing on you. Like act like you invincible.
Mm.
The world gonna show you you're not, and that's what older people are trying to show younger people. You're not invincible, and if you want to get here, you're gonna have to do a little bit of bending. And if you don't want to bend, that's fine. Some people made it very clear today in conversation that hey, not here, but they made it clear that if I gotta unalive to not have to bend, then so be it. And guess what? That's your choice. That's okay. That's what you chose. But don't make it seem like everybody else is wrong because they're not willing to hear everything you have to say because it may not bring the necessary change and the covering for somebody else coming up because you want to be reckless and wild. That's on you. And maybe your reckless and wild behavior may push and birth something that we've been needing. It's a possibility. Somebody may have to go for it. That's fine. Maybe you willing to be that person to, go to the slaughter. That's fine too. But I think that we can all both learn from each other. It's necessary. That's a whole process. It's the process is for that. I'm older, so I can teach you when you coming up. The only thing is I should be teaching you. And that's where the old people gotta come in and say, hey, maybe I'm not always doing great at teaching you.
Conversation over.
Mm.
Conversation over. Started the topic.
Mm.
She hit every point. Send them the recording.
Sitting there.
Ought to be on it. That's for real though. All of that. All of it. Now we're gonna take 3 hours just to get all of that out by everybody else. Oh, I'm here for it. Well, I gotta go to work, but I'm here for it till I'm not.
Till I'm not.
No, but she hit it from every angle though. That's true.
That's what she said.
You know he wasn't gonna let that go. I'm sick of
Right. Right.
You said for the prompt.
Yeah, what you got?
Sorry, I had to help somebody with the tire. I just got back.
So first we just gonna do the white one. Now, how you feel about it? Old ways don't always work with new people. How you feel about that? Jennifer, come on up. Let's see what you got for us. Let me go invite you up real quick, Jennifer.
For me, it's more like different strokes for different folks. That's all I can really say about it. So I agree with the prompt.
Mm-hmm.
I had to read your whole prompt.
I'm reading it
I
now.
was like, okay, wait a second. I have to read this first. Is the older or younger generation that's more of the problem today? I wouldn't
Yeah.
say it's older.
So we not
or
answering
younger.
that part yet. Not yet. Not yet. We just gonna do the white one. The white one is old ways don't always work with new people. So how do you feel about that one? How you feel
That's
about
true.
First, you gotta look at
Everyone's
their
different.
faces, though. You gotta look at
That's
their
true.
faces and process that, and then give us your opinion.
Not the faces.
Very true. Very, very true.
So why do you believe that old ways, and why wouldn't you believe it? Or which one?
There's certain, well, I would say some morals that I was taught growing up.
Mm-hmm.
I keep it to heart, but you can't. It's like you can't teach a new dog old tricks. Everyone is different. I'm always open. My youngest is 6. My oldest is 28. No, you can't. Trust me, you can't. You can't. But whatever they're going through in their life, it's so important to be there for them 1,000,000%, because there's going to be a lot of people that are not there for them 1,000,000%. So what they're learning in life is very important, very, very important. It's like, if, I wish I had someone there for me when I was younger growing up. That would be a game changer, big time. Um, my mom actually goes back and forth all the time. And my nieces and nephews are looking at her like, what? Okay, you just said no, grandma, but now it's a yes. So a little confusion. Do you guys understand that?
Okay. So what we got? Any agreements and disagreements? Let's go ahead and get this party started.
Yeah.
So, I think let me see if I understood what you're saying. You're saying your grandchildren were seeing that their grandmother was not willing to.
No, my nieces and nephews.
Oh, your nieces and
Like my
nephews.
mom, she's oh my gosh, she's gonna be 77.
Mm,
So she goes back and forth about things that she learned to teach them, but they're on a different perspective
hmm
today compared to then. It's a lot different.
So
So
where
she
is? Oh,
confuses them.
go ahead. So what you said the last part?
She confuses them, so I have to try to help them a little bit. I'm like, it's okay to be you. Like, there's nothing wrong. But my mom is telling them that this is what you should do, this is what you shouldn't do. It's like a chart, like a perspective kind of thing. So if you don't do that, then you're in the wrong, which I was like, no, that's not true.
Can you give
You
us
be
an
who you are.
example? Like one example?
An example is like my mom, for example, would tell them to wait, you know, until they're married to have, I'm not sure how to call it on here.
Dun-dun-duns. Dun-dun-dun.
Dun,
Okay.
dun, dun, thank you. But then they're like, what if I decided to? And I said, well, it's okay if you do. But my mom is telling them that it's bad and that she's making them feel bad and pressured if they choose to. Da 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 da.
Mm.
You know what I'm
Okay, because
saying?
no,
Yeah.
I understand completely. And this is what I would say. Well, first, I want to say that I do believe old people can learn something new. I absolutely believe that. The reason why that doesn't mean everybody will be willing to take in the newness. Absolutely not. They would not be. Now, everybody's not willing to, but everybody can. And so,
Correct.
so that's the point I was making with that. But with this part, I don't think, this kind of goes with what's the word I'm looking for? I know you said
It's kind
perspective,
of
but
like
it's
they're
an
torn. They want to please grandma, but if they don't,
this is the thing too. Okay,
you
well,
know
I'm
what I
gonna stay on
mean?
your point. Yeah, I'm gonna stay on your point. So
Yeah.
with the grandmother,
Yeah.
I don't believe that your grandmother is wrong, because tell me this: what benefits do children have doing the dun dun before they actually understand their bodies, themselves, and their worldview?
That is true, but you got to also remember they are over 18. So they're, I'm not saying that my mom is wrong or their grandma's wrong,
Hmm.
but they put like, if you do this, then you're wrong. You're pretty much bad seed.
Okay,
And they feel bad and they
mhm.
shouldn't feel bad about that. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. No, yeah, I got
That's
so.
what grandma is doing to them. So grandma is like, yeah, she's doing a good moral, good positive thing, which is beautiful. But making them feel bad about their decision, I don't agree with that.
So I think that's when the parent, and I think Poet's gonna add great context to this
They
too.
don't
But I
have a
think that's
parent. I want you to
oh,
know that.
I'm sorry,
They
not the
don't
parent.
have
I'm
a
sorry.
parent.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
think that's when so you, right? You're the person that they listen to, right? Too.
Yes, because they make them feel bad. So they always come to me because my mom makes them feel like they're doing something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Even that when like for example, my mom did not want my nephew to try out for football. And right now he's a quarterback. I told him do what he loves. He loves to throw a football. Why not do it? There's nothing holding you back. There's nothing wrong about it. But she tells him that if you do this, then I'm not talking to you again, and there's something wrong about this. That blows my mind. Like,
Yeah,
what is
so
wrong about throwing a football?
well, okay, so that kind of goes to like
Yeah.
complexes. She clearly has something, you know, again, like we was talking about earlier, communication, all these different things. And some people don't have good communication. They have other things that they
And
don't
they
know how to
don't have
communicate well.
parents there too. I want you to know that their mom and dad is not like, they're kind of in their lives, but they choose something other than them. So they're like, they're probably in their lives like, oh my gosh, maybe 5% out of 100. So they come and see me every week, all the time, but they don't go and see their parents. They just want to come see Aunt Jenny. You know what I'm saying? Um,
I have a
I don't.
question.
Yes.
Is she worried about them getting hurt because of the concussions and the head trauma and all of that? Is that why she doesn't want them to play
Possibly.
football?
Yeah, that,
Possibly.
I totally
That could
get
be a
that
thing.
perspective where you're like,
Yes.
we know better. We're not going to let you go just have traumatic brain injury from the time you're 8 years old. Just like, that's just
Right.
no longer
Possibly.
responsible.
Yes. Possibly. Yes.
so that's why it comes down with so
Yeah.
that's kind of where she may
They
not
come
know
to
how to
me for
deliver.
advice. You
No,
know
no,
what I
and
mean?
that's what I was about to get to. That's what I'm going to get to real quick, and I'm going to get to, and
Yeah.
still Poet wants to
Okay.
speak, but I think it's fair that you have the sensitivity, right? They may need that from you because the grandmother doesn't have what they call a filter to like filter out what she thinks is important to show that she cared, and it just comes out like, no, you're not doing it, I don't want to do it, even though there are
Yes.
ramifications and
You're
reasons
right.
as to why. But I wouldn't completely tear down her viewpoint.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think
I'm not.
no.
But
I'm just saying. Hold on,
they're
real quick, real
confused
quick.
about it.
Right,
They're
and
confused.
right. So
So
I'm
it's
gonna get
so
to that.
hard to try to.
No,
You know what I
hold on.
mean?
I'm gonna get to that though. That's the point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold on.
So
That's what
I'm
I'm
like,
getting
I feel
to.
like I'm torn in like two different places.
Well, that's
You know
the
what I mean?
thing. I'm trying to help you
Yeah.
not be torn. That's what I'm trying
Thank
to
you.
say to you, right? And this is where you can do something different because you caring for them is fair. It's fine, but they still need foundation. They still need structure. They still need all these things because
Yes.
it's not good. That's why I was just telling Kev earlier. It's not good to not have any type of effects or show kids the effects of things. Yes, it is a problem to want to engage in dun 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 before you understand about your body and things about life and what can cause a baby and all these different things. There's so much more trouble to engage in that. And if we all know that
Right.
who've had the dun 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 before we should have, we understand
Yes, I gave
it
them
don't it
that
don't
whole speech about
yeah.
safety, unsafety,
Yeah.
knowing about their bodies because they didn't really understand their bodies. So I had to do that. I don't, mind doing that, but I was surprised that they didn't know it prior when they're so curious. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't have that structure or that foundation.
So,
Yeah.
Jennifer,
Let me get hold on
I just
one
want to let
second,
you know,
Fu.
I'm the cool Tia. I
Hold
am
on,
the
Fu,
cool
one second.
auntie.
Sorry. Hold on, Fu, one second. I want to get Poet in there real quick and then Fu, you can go ahead. Go ahead, Poet, if you want to respond.
I was just gonna say that sometimes you need an interpreter for several different reasons. In this instance, with your grandmother being 70-something years old, it was probably very dangerous for her to behave like that. And so helping them understand her perspective should help. But if you don't understand it, then that's going to be hard.
Yes,
I'm not
exactly.
surprised that she feels that way. I know I could come up with 8 or 9 reasons why she would feel that way. Because if you think about 70 years ago, what she's saying makes
Exactly.
perfect sense. So to help them, if you could help bridge that gap of communication and letting them know that two things can be true, it could definitely be destructive, like our alter ego said. But if you already given them those bullet points, then it really is up to them. But when they talk to
Right.
grandma, they've got to learn how to put their feelings aside and let her talk. Because what's most important
That's the hard
when
thing
we
with them,
spend this time
though.
with older
That's the
people,
hard thing with them
but
because they
again,
want to
hold
say it
on,
always.
her views at 70 something is not going to change.
Yeah, you're right.
So in order to have a good interaction, sometimes they're going to have to let her talk. But if they let her talk, they also can't be feeling everything that she says. You know what I'm saying? So they have to just
That's the
know
issue.
what they know. They have to know that I'm being safe and that she's
Thank
concerned
you.
about me. And she may go on for 20 minutes with her concern, but I'm not going to feel some kind of way because I have sense enough now to know that we have two different perspectives. And that's where you come in. I think that's what Alter Ego was trying to say.
Thank you. Thank you
Often
so
when they
much.
visit
Thank
you,
you.
then you should be that interpreter for them to help
All
with the
right.
interaction, because
Yeah.
she's not at a state where she's going to be learning, too much from them.
Oh, yeah.
But they can learn from her if they can set their feelings aside. And I think the younger generation do have a problem with that,
Yes,
speaking,
they do.
reacting to everything
Yes,
that they
they
see.
do.
So
Because their
even
feelings
beyond,
are most important to them.
right, even beyond this
Yes.
interaction with just their grandmother, when they go out into this world, they're going to have to learn how to tuck some of those feelings and expressions that they have in order to get what the world has to offer them when it's positive.
All right. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
No
Thank you,
problem. I'm sure
poet.
that's what Alta was
Now
doing.
that's how you
I'm gonna
teach
see
an
them
old dog
tomorrow,
new
so
tricks.
I'll have a talk.
Right?
We always talk. They always have something to say when they come over.
That's so
Is it okay
good,
if I
poet.
go
Thank
ahead
you.
and backtrack now? Is it my turn?
Yes.
Yes, Boo, go
Talk.
ahead.
Awesome. Thank you. Happy Sunday fun day, everybody.
Happy Sunday.
I am like the favorite Tia. I'm the favorite auntie. So I have 5 brothers. I'm the baby girl, only girl. And so I have a lot of nieces and nephews. And I'm the only person they trust. Part of my family is super, super Catholic. The other side is super the opposite.
Well,
And so
at least we
Okay,
know
that's
y'all
cool.
understand each other.
That's cool.
I'm in the middle. I feel like I'm
Okay.
Switzerland. I have to be Switzerland with these little munchichis. I call them my kiddos, my munchichis. And they're like, food pups, auntie food, la la la. Can you come?
I
like,
still
do
have my
this?
Munchie Chi doll in the 80s. You're so cute.
I'm obsessed with them. They're like, they have those, what are they? Lulu boops, Lulu boos?
Yeah, they're so cute.
Yes, they look like munchichis.
Yes, they look like gorillas, but
It's
they
like
have like a
two. It's
thumb in
two
their
of the
mouth.
same people up here. That's crazy.
I love
You know
it.
what
Isn't it so
Munchie is?
cute?
I totally know it.
It's like it's not a cartoon. It's kind of like
They
human.
tried to make a cartoon, but it failed.
Yeah, it wasn't very
Yes.
good.
I still have mine.
My brothers.
She's
used
so
to,
cute, and she like the girl has a little bow in her hair.
Yes, and then
Yes.
she
Man,
sucks
y'all
her
getting
thumb.
off track
She can
now,
suck on her
man.
thumb.
I know it's cute though, Munchie Cheese. Come on,
Not the girl
Munchie
party.
Cheese. We're having a party.
I am not apologizing. I'm having so much fun.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I will speak on the prompt though. Thank you for letting me up. Old ways don't always work with new people. Is it the older or younger generations that are more of the problem today?
Yeah, we just on the white one for now. Just for now.
I just want to say, when you speak about old, like I just said, I'm like the favorite Tia, the favorite auntie. Like they will call me and message me, and their friends are like, "Oh, is this okay? Is that okay?" Because they trust me, and I'm giving them real advice. Please use protection. Please know that if you don't feel comfortable, call me. I will send you a lift. I don't care if I'm in Texas, if I'm in London. I will send you a car. You don't have to stay anywhere. So when they have me, they feel like they can, and their friends do it. And I hold their secrets. I do. I do. I know every time they've lost their V card and all the stuff, or not wanting to, they talk to me when they go to mass about what they talk to the priest about. Like, it's so cute. I have a good relationship with these little kiddos. But they don't have a good relationship with their parents. Or
Yeah.
my is the person I used to call my grandmother. I would call her and tell her everything. And she'd be just like, "Food, you're telling me too much."
I do the same thing all the
Don't want to
time.
know.
Yes.
So
And
it's
my
important to
nieces
have a
and
good
nephews come
relationship.
over.
Also,
They tell me so much, and I'm like, they tell me so much going on in their life.
yourself, the way.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Yeah, because my time's so limited. And her stuff
You're
glitching at the wrong time. All right, so let me
I
real
don't want
quick.
to overspeak. Thanks for letting me up.
Yeah, for sure. I was about to say, let me get Andre in, right? So I think I said it right, hopefully.
Yeah.
Andre. All right, for sure. So we on the first one. Always don't work with new people. How you feel about the topic?
Always don't work with new people. Um, I feel like it depends. I feel like it depends on what do you mean by old ways? And what do you mean by old ways?
Say it again.
I said, what do you mean by old ways? Like overall of everything?
Maybe old styles, old way of
Old
thinking,
styles.
old movements, old traditions, old. I mean,
Advice.
it's so many things.
Right.
Old
So that's
advice.
like,
Yeah.
and yeah, it is so many things. So that's why I was like, oh, which I feel like it depends. I feel like certain things is just outdated, and there's certain things that still needs that still that still be useful. That can still be useful. Work with new people.
Mm-hmm.
Always work with new people.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, like I agree. Always don't always work with new people. I
Mm,
think some
Okay.
is that the question?
Yeah, so we can get this because I forgot. I'm on a time limit, so I'm gonna try to run through some of these prompts. So you can start off this the next prompt is the older or the younger generation that's more of the problem today.
And I said both, honestly.
Okay.
Um, okay. The reason why I say both is because I feel like old people can be stuck in their ways. And they don't, when new things come, or when they've been doing things that they used to be doing, and then the new generation comes and they be like, oh, this works better. They don't want to hear that sometimes. Like, they don't want to hear that. And they be like, well, this is the way I've been doing this for this long. And I think that crashed. And then there's the new generation, the younger generation don't want to know. They don't want to be taught either. They don't want to be told. They don't want to hear what the old heads have to say. So I feel like them crashing together could be a problem. Old people don't
Mm,
want to be taught nothing new, and new people don't want to be listening to what these old heads gotta say what happened in the in World War One. Like, so yeah.
okay. What you got, food?
I have this to offer. Old people have experience. They have adventures. They have successes and failures. Young people are young, so they're inexperienced. They're dumb just because they're stupid every day. They become a brand new idiot. And they're full of cum. They just want to have snacks and they just want to have instant gratification. That's what makes them less valuable because they need to get through that phase. They're just like spinning themselves into circles. It's so cute. We've all done it, but I would rather listen to an elder than listen to an idiot. I'm gonna give the elder more credence so they know what they're speaking about than somebody that's over here once again. Young, dumb, and full of cum. All they do is want to have those three emotions at the same time. Be stupid and know it all, and all they want is what they want. So yeah, that would make it much easier to believe in the elders. I know that's a more experienced way to look toward advice.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Let me get Silent in real quick.
Okay.
Is it the older or the younger generation that's more of a problem today? I think it is both. Um, I feel like there are some new ways to do things, but then there are some old ways to do things. But either way, it is both because, like Food said, the younger generation just doesn't want to listen. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
think I said that on another post when I was relating to something. But yeah, some just that don't want to listen. Also, there are some old people that are stuck in their ways. I will admit, the type of parents I had, they were stuck in their ways. In my family, if you don't have a degree, you're out the family. So at the age of 18, I was told you either become a doctor or you get out the house. So for
Hello. Hi, Silent. I left at
Hold
15
on real
because they
quick.
gave
Hold
me
on real
that.
quick.
I'm right
Hold
there
up.
with you. I got my degree, but not the way they wanted it. I was
Go
Preach.
ahead, silent. Go ahead, silent.
That's okay. I like what she said, but for the most part, yeah. So I definitely agree. I think what Andrea said was even better. I think she was right too. It's both. And I land my plane.
All right. What you got? Walter, what you got?
Whew.
Oh, sorry. Did you say what was my question?
What happened?
You got a question for it?
I had a question for food.
Oh no, not yet, not yet, not
Oh,
yet.
okay. It got quiet, so I
Yeah,
thought you might.
Muffy.
Don't forget your question. That's a hard question. Is the younger? I think things always have to start at the basis. That's the problem too. In order to see a problem, in order to understand the issue at the top, you have to see where it started. Doesn't mean that it's only one side though. That's hard. Of course, both will.
Remember the key word in there is more. Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
more.
So the
Yeah.
more, I'm gonna go with younger then, since we gotta say
Okay.
more. Yeah, I'm gonna go with younger, and the reason I say younger is because kind of like the conversation we had earlier with communication, right? Once I put the answer out there, put the information out there, now it's up to you to take it how you want to take it. And I think more younger people, kind of to Food's point, how they kind of think more on a swivel. It's like, whatever works now, I'm gonna do whatever works now. Doesn't mean you weren't necessarily taught. I think we love to put that as we weren't taught, nobody showed us. You learn some kind of way, a lot of things, right? And I think that's the unfortunate part, because yes, there are people who didn't teach them anything. It's very true. So I have to say more, because more younger people are making waves and changing things and things like that. So I think younger people have a louder voice than they probably did, years ago. So I would definitely say younger, because not only are you having a voice in a sense, but you're kind of like declaring things that may not be right, because you're kind of moving on feelings based, and that may not be the smartest move all the time. Because right now is not the only day you should be concerned of, although today is the day you have. But it's also wise to think further down the line as well with your actions and with your youth. So I'm gonna go.
May I say something really quick?
No.
All right, I'll wait. I'll type it in the comments. How about that? I'll
Yeah,
do that.
there you go. There you go.
I
That's
got
a good
you. I
idea.
got you.
That's a good idea. Yeah. Go ahead, poet it, and I'm gonna say one I believe.
I just thought it was interesting because Food said that she has a group of young individuals, family members that come to her for things. So it sounds like that's really important to her. But my question is, she also said, yeah, because you can't get advice from young, what she say, young, stupid people that are full of cum. Like, and I'm just wondering if she's including her younger people in that group of young, stupid, full of cum. You know what I'm saying? Or are your people that you love and care for, are they separate from that generation of young and dumb? That's what I want to know.
I'll answer whenever it's my turn. No worries.
Go ahead, and then I'm gonna answer the topic.
Sure. So, what I typed into the comments was that there are more older people, percentage-wise, to younger people right now because of baby boomers. There's never been a time before the baby boomers where there were so many people born that were healthy or able to live because of technology and blah, blah, blah. So that has created a really amazing opportunity if you have business sense and you want to capitalize on that or take advantage of it. However, you do have more elders than young people percentage-wise right now. And so you're also finding that a lot of younger people are not wanting to procreate. Why? The society we live in, whatever the reasons are, who cares? Whatever. They're not doing it. They don't want to. Good on them. We're overpopulated, by my own opinion. So I'm just going to simply say that you can't monopolize. Monopoly's a fun game if you're the banker. But if you're not the banker, like, I always say I don't gamble because I want to own the land the casino is built upon. The house always wins. So the house will always own me. I own the land. So that's just a different mindset. that I have versus some other people that might say, oh, I need to be the youngest, the hottest, of this or that. My people are as young and down as anyone else. The advantage that they have is they have a Tia like me, and I will help them not be so stupid every day. But they wake up even stupider the next day. So they'll get it. They'll get it. But if they don't have people to look forward or to show them, to replicate, to advise them, how do you have respect for yourself if you don't see yourself represented? I am there.
All right, yeah. Cause I told y'all I'm on time limit, y'all. We ain't about to. Yeah, that's why I'm trying to rush through this real quick so I can get to the real open panel. But all right. So let's get K in real quick, and then Nasi. Then I can do my perspective of who I believe is more of the problem today. K, do you believe who is more of the problem today, the older or the younger generation?
Man, both generations. I don't care what anybody say. It's problems in both generations. The old generation wanna sit here and push off their way of living and how they grew up onto the younger generation. Then the younger generation, they don't want to fucking listen to none of that shit. They feel they got it all the way down packed when you don't know shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's a problem on both. I can't even say it's one more than the other. They're both a
Mm-hmm.
problem. One don't want to listen to the other, and the other feels that they have more. You know what I'm saying? They got more of a space to be open. But the thing is, if we had the technology we had right now back then with our parents growing up, but I promise you, all this shit we see today wouldn't even be the same. If we had the same way of living we had back then, now, like back then, if we had the shit we got now back then, it would not be like it is today.
Most of us
I
wouldn't
promise you.
be
I
here.
agree.
To be
Hold up,
real,
y'all.
most of
This
you
is
wouldn't
not
even
open
be here.
panel. It is not open
Sorry.
panel, y'all. I don't know what's going on. I ain't know I gotta keep saying the rules over again. All right, go ahead, Anasi. Oh, are you done, Kay? Or you
Yeah. I'm
unmuted?
done. I'm
All
done.
right, for sure. All right, go ahead, Anasi.
Yo, repeat the question one more time. What up, kid?
So, what up, man? Is it the older generation or younger generation that's more of the problem today?
I ain't gonna straddle the fence. I'm gonna say it's the older generation. My reason and opinion why. My parents are
And you
boomers.
bet not
Right?
steal my shine either.
Don't be that way, kid. I ain't been over here in a minute.
That's
My
your
parents
words.
are boomers, and I grew up with my grandparents too, and they were part of the greatest generation. One thing that the older generation didn't let you do was ask questions. You were told to stay in a child's place. The problem is when you don't ask questions, you don't learn. And what's happening today with the advancement of technology, you gotta understand something. I'm a 90s baby. You know, I grew up with the Dewey Decimal System, checking books out of the library and whatnot. Kids today consume more information in a day than I could in a month back then. They may not understand it all, but nonetheless, they're exposed to more information. So when it comes to the advancements in information today, you can't just tell these young kids something and expect them not to question. It is in human nature to question. That's how you learn. Because I told you so ain't
30
good
seconds.
enough. And because I told you so ain't good enough. And because I told you so ain't good enough no more, the older generation takes that as a sign of disrespect. When it ain't. You got to give an explanation, because if you don't, even if the advice that you're giving is good, it's human nature to not understand the word don't. The moment you tell somebody don't do something, that's exactly what they want to do.
Oh, he made it. What the heck? This is a new version of Anasi. Okay, I'll take that. Amy
Oh, that's
Faye, what
dope.
you
Don't,
got?
That's dope.
don't do me like that, Kev.
I am
Don't
sorry,
do
sir. I
that.
ain't gonna lie.
Look at God. Look
It's a
at
look
God.
at Amy, and then I'm gonna go ahead and say say what I think too, though. But just know more mine's towards more towards a Nazi because I'll be the one that say that too. But go ahead, because I know everybody else is picking on the fence. Amy, what you got for me? Is it the older or the younger generation that's more of the problem today? And you got a glitch like crazy. My goodness.
It's younger.
Oh my, yeah, you gotta. Oh my, I don't know if you Australia or something. I don't know
Nah,
what's going
I
on.
heard what she said. She said younger. It's just her service a little nervous. That's all it is.
That boy's super nervous.
Yeah,
My
I said younger.
goodness. It's like in a UFC fight or something.
Got that big old ass phone. Can't have that.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm gonna go. Sorry.
All right, yeah. When you get your signal up, man, that'd be
We
all
can
right.
hear
We
you
can get it
now.
going.
We can hear you now. I can.
Hell yeah, I can hear you too.
I think.
Are you there, Amy?
You're good now, Amy. You sound like you were like breaking up and choppy, but you sound perfect when you were saying you're gonna leave.
It's probably that's good. It's probably the sign, right?
I think
Because
she left and it's still popping up that she's there because her Wi-Fi.
it's a wrap. All right, yeah, I can't
Well,
speak.
Hey,
I say
I'm
if
on.
you got
younger.
your Wi-Fi on and you
See,
not
every
like
time she
near our
says,
Wi-Fi,
she
turn it
said
off.
it works fine.
Yeah, if y'all out and y'all be having y'all Wi-Fi on and stuff, one thing it's doing is trying to
Trying to
pick up
connect
on the
to
next
everything.
closest tower.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
it'll kind of put your service out. So if that's on, just cut your Wi-Fi off, and if you're not using your Bluetooth, cut that off as well. It'll give you full power.
Hmm. All right, so I guess I'm gonna wait till your service come back up real quick, and then we get back to you. Or I don't know. All right, so I would say, I just be direct. I believe both of them is an issue, but I put more in there. So I would say the older. I think the older is more of the problem. Um, and the reason why is because it's no different why we getting on these single mothers and all that stuff because they raising these people that is the problem now. And uh, it's even if they all going doing these things, it was an older person that put that into them. Like some of them is actually what's the word? They're encouraging these bad behaviors, and they what's the words? I'm trying to think of it. Basically, they encourage it, they influencing them, they not correcting nothing. They're not, they allowing these kids to be the lack of the stuff that they know of, the lazy parenting, all that stuff. Like these coming from them, right? So I can't really say that majority of these young folks is the problem, even though they have a big problem. Why they play a major part. That's why it's YNs and stuff. But it's like I said in the other live, someone created these YNs. You know what I'm saying? They didn't come from somewhere. Even when kids learn these negative things from other negative kids, it's still that coming from their parents. What they allowed them to see, what they allowed them to hear, and all that stuff. So somebody created this problem, these young problems. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I gotta get. And then also the old folks with the big issue is that they keep on, and we're gonna get to the other one about how they just going back and forth with these young folks and stuff and acting just like them and trying to they're not, like I said, I don't believe they're trying to teach. They're trying to exert dominance. That's why they got to come in here and say, well, I must be the oldest in the building. I must be what do that mean? You know what I'm saying? I don't get that. Why what that mean? Everybody should shut up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm most definitely and we gonna get to the other part about who should be about the being held to a higher standard. And also, we could be considered older folks. You know what I'm saying? Compared to some of these young 20-year-olds and all the stuff. Most of us probably 30 in this thing or whatever. Some people might be 20, or 40. You know what I'm saying? But if we doing this bad, I mean, doing this worse as them like that, I think we're the bigger it. But we'll get somewhere with that though. So yeah, because I'm trying to run through all these real quick. So, but I can do a quick open panel, and then we can go to the next question.
So you saying they raise monsters?
Yeah,
They
yeah, we
created
get
their own
mad at the.
monster.
Yep, they created the monsters that. Yes, that's exactly. That's why I say I gotta say they're the problem. They're most definitely the problem today.
Well,
That's
if
why
that's
I
the
It's my
case,
asked.
okay, go ahead,
Okay.
K-Port.
baby.
I see both sides.
That's
I
why I
see.
asked favorite auntie, was she including her bunch too? Because
Yeah,
Man,
that's
please don't
okay.
start her
Yeah,
back
yeah.
up.
No,
My
it's
I'm
okay.
gosh,
No,
not.
you
she
said
must,
it's
she
I'm
must,
okay for
not.
me
she
to
must
leave.
I'm
love
not.
her or something, dog.
Okay. No,
It's
my bad.
okay. It's
My
okay if you
bad.
don't want me to speak right now, Papito. But you did say wait until open panel, and now you just said open panel again. So they were asking me a question, and so I can answer it now or later. I'm pretty certain it will be the
Go
same.
ahead. I thought she already gave you the
No, no,
answer.
no, no. I
Dang.
didn't. I didn't. I didn't ask another question. She answered my question just fine. The only thing I was going to say was, I think that when we have young folks' attention and they trust us, they listen to us, then we should be teaching them. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
So that is part of the point of me being in their lives. I honestly have a really charmed life. I travel a lot because I like it. I deal with giant dogs because I like it. I deal with big trucks because I like it. I love food. Inside of me there's a big back. And, they appreciate me being honest with them. I don't pull any punches. I give them the truth. I give them advice. That's how I help them. I advise them in ways
That's
I
great.
didn't want them given.
You didn't say that before, but you're not on trial. I'm not picking on you. It's fine.
Gratitude, my love. I
What'd you
take
say,
pride
Anas?
in them. I take
I was
pride in all
asking-
of my little munchichis. I really do.
I was talking, the woman that's just talking, I was asking, she was talking about how she was giving advice to the younger generation. I'm just curious, you ain't got to give me an age range. Are you a millennial or what are you, Gen Z?
I'm 29.
Me, I'm a millennial.
Millennial.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah, I
know.
don't know what I am. I'm
You say
29.
you
I don't know
you
what
just
I
turned
am.
29? Or you
Yes.
about to
Okay,
be 30?
so
Yeah, you a millennial.
I'm about to be 35. What is that?
Millennial.
Millennial.
Yeah, you old, kid. We old. We
I feel
born
like-
Hey,
now.
not he old.
We borderline up. So the reason I asked that question is because, see, some of us can relate to both halves of this equation as far as like the younger generation and the older generation, because you got Gen X and particularly the boomers. But Gen X and the boomers, that's saying the younger generation is being disrespectful. And they're predominantly talking about Gen Z and the late millennials. And those of
that
us
what
who are
I
early
am?
millennials,
And I don't know which one am I? What am I?
Old.
I'm 29. Like whatever
any
I
millennial
am.
after
Nah, you a
90,
millennial.
millennial,
I'm trying to figure it out
Yeah,
because
you a late millennial.
this is what I'm trying to figure
you,
out.
You a late millennial. Your
This is what
earliest memory of the 90s was in diapers. So we would consider you a 90s kid, but you ain't part of the council. You don't remember that.
We still had my great aunts
You don't
were
remember
taking
that
and raising us. No, but my great aunts were out there going to clubs and partying and coming home. So like I know, like
They call them
these
nanas.
elders, they were getting it in.
Ain't no
They
such
taught
thing
me
as
a
big
lot
mamas
of
anymore.
Nah,
Yeah,
ain't no point
I'm
in
talking
big mamas,
they
'cause
were
the grandmas and the
yes.
grandmas are shaking ass in the club.
And that's what
That's
I
what
mean.
I
And
just
about the older
said.
folks are the
Throwing ass
problem.
on TikTok.
Y'all gonna lean over to my side soon though. Watch, the older folks are the problem
telling
today more than.
you.
I'm trying to tell you, when you got the
older
grandmas that
dudes
still trying to
trying to
say,
fuck
I
the
still
young
got it
women.
here selves. They talking about I still got it. Come on, man. What the freak?
When I
You
heard
got-
my great aunt talk about she was gonna talk to her sugar daddy, I was like, is she serious? Like for real?
So Kev,
Is he the crypt
reason-
keeper or is he Moses?
the
How
reason
old
why I
is he?
said what I said earlier is because I've seen and y'all seen on this app where we got old heads still tricking. And they
Fact,
tell
just because
they
you
tricking.
just because you say old, they get triggered.
Yeah, they still tricking, and they'll tell you it ain't tricking if you got it.
Oh.
Yes, the fuck it is. It's still tricking, and you got the older women. Yeah, I ain't
I
saying
said
trick, I
tricking,
said
right?
tricking.
That's why I
Yeah,
noticed in the
tricking.
middle of
Well,
something
they're
like
not
that.
triggered. They're
Yeah.
tricking
They
off.
still
Yes.
tricking, and they'll tell the younger guys, well, you need to get your money up. You need to get
Hey, I was just
your
about to say
experience
that too.
up.
That's what make an issue. Yeah, that's true.
And the problem that I have with that is, and I respond to them, be like, no, you came from a generation where gas cost 10 cents and bread was a nickel.
Man.
So you can't.
Damn.
And the cost of rent
Was $16.
today was $16. Today, buying a phone, it was a mortgage. It was 3 mortgages back then. The cost of us getting a cell phone
but you
was
know,
3 mortgages back then. So,
But you know what? That
hold
person
on,
is
honey.
now sitting on his retirement, sitting on his dollars, his
Yeah,
You
money.
gotta stop.
They
You
ain't
gotta
sitting
stop
on their
cutting people off.
retirement. But hold on. The point I'm making is they ain't sitting on their retirement anymore because they did not divest and invest their money. But what's happening is when the younger generations are finding out, okay, we got to work 3 times as hard to just rent out a place, and we're finding easier ways to do it. And when we're finding easier ways to do it, we're also finding more than one stream of income. Because honestly, people working 2 jobs, that shit didn't happen till the 80s. It didn't happen till the late 80s. Boomers were set up with 2 great economic booms. That was after World War II, the steel industry, and in the 90s, during the internet age. And what happened was, instead of taking that money and creating generational wealth, they pissed it off. They were tricking in, they were tricking out. So the fault
And
of this
Nancy,
prompt falls
I'm a
higher
backpack
on
on
the
you.
boomers. Right. The fault of this falls more so on the older generation because you had an opportunity to gain something and pass it on to the next generation, not just your knowledge and your so-called wisdom. Because when the younger generation says, okay, how do we make it through a time such as today where we're even getting a job at $20 an hour, you still can't even hold your head above water. I drive trucks, and I'm gonna tell you right now, even as a truck driver, that shit still takes a toll where you gotta work. If you ain't putting 2,000 miles a week on your truck, you ain't breaking even. You ain't breaking even. That shit wasn't happening in the 70s. So this older generation gotta understand it ain't the same back then that it is today. It ain't the same. And as far as millennials, we got fucked. I'm just
For
going to tell
real.
y'all millennials,
No, for
we
real.
got fucked. We got fucked economically. We got fucked by the job market. We got fucked by the housing market. We
Yes,
got
sir.
fucked by the world itself. We done dealt with wars, plagues, shutdowns, all before we done hit 50. All before we done turned 40. We done went through all this shit before we didn't even turn 40. And the
Man.
boomers got the goddamn audacity to say, y'all just lazy? Y'all just lazy?
Not the
How the
audacity.
if you ask ChatGPT, did millennials get fucked? Look what ChatGPT says. It will tell you the truth. So this older generation, the God honest truth, I honestly feel like they need a huge reality check. They don't
So
like
you're
to
gonna
ask
blame the
questions.
boomers? Are you blaming the boomers for what we're dealing with now?
I do blame the boomers. I do blame the boomers. You want to know
Yeah,
why?
they were
Because
out
when
of
they had the
pocket.
opportunity, when they had the opportunity to set the next generation up for success, they pissed it away. And now here they are in their 50s and their 60s, still tricking, still trying to throw at sis. I can get a young man if I want one. I can pull a young girl if I want one. Sit your old crusty, dusty ass down somewhere and start raising your great grandkids. Get yourself together. Get your IUL and your life insurance policy together, because nobody ain't about to have a fish fry when your old ass is up in the nursing home
All
and
right.
ready to go meet God. I'm done.
All right, let's get it now. We about
Hey,
to
he
no
on
more.
one
No.
today. Hey, look, he been finishing on time today.
Right, I
Shit.
just thought about that too. That was crazy. All right, but let's get to the next one. So I'm trying to at
You
least
gonna,
try
you
to
gonna
get through this
stop that,
whole.
Kev.
It's to
Nah,
that.
come on now. Come on
That
now.
wasn't
Hey,
even me that
Kevin,
time. That was Kay.
Oh, I wasn't
Kevin,
looking. My
stop
bad.
rushing us. Go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, I gotta watch the time. I got a word tomorrow. All right,
While you was cooking, man, let him finish.
Y'all gonna give us these good topics and give us 5 minutes to talk. Go ahead.
yeah, I want to make sure I get through all these things so I can. Yeah. So why can't we get through young or older folks? Matter of fact, why can't we get through young folks and old folks? Why can't we get through them? So let's start with Alta.
So, why can't we get through to old and young
Can't.
folks? Can't. The reason we can't is because y'all are freaking stubborn. That's why. The young have learned how to be stubborn because they've watched their parents and the grandparents be stubborn. So yes, that's fine. And it's just a continued cycle. Because like this is the thing. The same thing we feel like the older people did, we're doing the same thing to the ones under us. I need y'all to understand that. That's why the blame game will never run out. It's always going to be here because as long as there's someone else who was supposed to do something, we get to blame somebody else. So today, what we hear and what we know has happened and what they have done, are we doing something different to give our children something different? And I think also teach your kids that don't wait on somebody to give you something. And I think that's something millennials have learned. You better get it. Don't be looking for somebody else to give it to you. You got some people, I'm grateful to have the family that I had, that we like to work together in certain things like that. You have some people just kick you out and make you keep on. So I think the reason why we can't get through to young or old is because people already think they have the answer. That's just what it is. Like, what you mean you're gonna tell me? What you mean? You don't understand. And I think it's just been a lack of understanding. It's a lack of, like when the younger person say, "Hey, I got an idea." You ain't got no idea, boy. You young. You don't know nothing. That causes a problem. It absolutely does. Because I hear it a lot when people have ideas, and I think where we are now, whether it's been, could we be further along? Absolutely, in a lot of different ways. I think young people have added to the progress of things, and older people have definitely added to progress and substance and foundation. Because to be honest with you, a lot of the younger concept is feelings based. It is what I want to do based. And I promise you, if there was not a mixture of young and old, we would be screwed based off the younger people's concept, which is everybody should do what they want. And guess what? The older people are falling for it. Just like we just started one lady in the panel. Well, oh my God, I understand them. Let them do what they want. You know they don't make sense. You know they didn't do nothing for you when you were getting told do what you want. That's crazy. There still has to be some type of structure, some type of discipline, and some type of foundation. Otherwise, everybody's falling out their ass, literally. Ain't no bottom to it. So you have to have a sense of structure. There is the reason why, even though everything is held together right now by glue, it still has something to do with older people that's refusing to make certain changes because they know that if I give this younger person everything they're asking for, they will screw themselves and everybody else. So we have to have a balance of what older people are doing and why they're doing it that way, because they see beyond what maybe we see today. Oh, I want it now though. Please, can I get this? I really, really want it. We know that's what we do. But at the same time, you should not completely eliminate the voices and the ideas of the younger, because they are the next up. So you can't.
Oh, sorry, Alter. You went past it. But it sound like that yeah, I was hoping you was looking at the phone. I don't know. But I was about to say, did you switch over to the older people? Or I don't know. I'm trying to think. You can go ahead and unmute and see that. I don't know if you had switched over.
It's still younger. That's why I say
You still say younger. Okay. So you still stick with the younger. Okay, I'm trying to see. So it's only a
I
few of them.
heard her say that, but
Yeah. I know you heard that. Yeah, I know you did.
It does sound
But
older.
I thought that's why I said I almost did, but we gonna see then. We gonna see though. Silent, what you got for me real quick? Why can't we get through the older and younger folks?
Well, like some of the people were saying, a lot of younger folks don't want to listen to older folks, but then a lot of older folks are stuck in their ways or can't explain it to younger folks where they understand. So I feel like I said it's a little bit of both. I'm a millennial, and I would say, like I said, at 18, I left my parents' house. But I will say this, the advantage I had in life was Gary Job Corps. It was in St. Marcus, not the one in New York, because everybody talk about that one. That's not the right one. But Gary Job Corps was an advantage for most millennials, because not only could you get a trade, go to college for free, and get your health care done, but you can stay there from 15 to 24 and save as much money as you like. So I graduated Gary Job Corps with $30,000 in my pocket, plus the $1,000 they gave you, and the job that you get when you get out of Gary Job Corps. But that's another discussion for another day. I would just say I would just say for the prompt though, for most people it's just, nobody wants to listen. Everybody's too busy pointing the finger at the next generation or the other generation. And I'm done. I land my plane.
Ooh, he said he don't even need no timer. Okay. All right, yeah, because all the mods get 2 minutes. Everybody else get 1.
I'm trying to make more time.
Nope, they ain't stealing your time. You better use your time up.
No, I'm good. Go ahead. Go to the next person.
Okay. All right, food. Hold up. Let me get this reset food stuff up real quick. In now. Bow. Let me in his now too. So fool, you better be ready. You got 1 minute. Why can't we get through the older folks and younger folks today?
I
Boom.
disagree that you can't. You can and you will. You just have to know how to approach them and also understand sometimes they don't want to listen, and that's okay. But the people that do want to listen, apply yourself, offer your advice, offer your options. Because I had grants and scholarships. Had it not been for that and taking advantage of every other opportunity, there would not have been a situation for me. My family were missionaries, medical, not Bible. So I didn't really see them a whole lot. Thankfully, I had my elders that gave me advice. And I was super smart and very stubborn. So I graduated when I was 15 and went to college. I had stuff to do. I land my plane.
What the? All right. No. Oh my gosh. 2 people shocking me today. I ain't gonna say their names, but 2 people shocking me today. All right. Pretty Moco. Why can't we get through the older folks and younger folks? Got 1 minute.
So I'm gonna try to keep it short and simple. Well, I got to because I only got a minute, right? So it's just that when you think you have all the answers, you can't be taught. People come from a stance where they think they know better than whom they're talking to. So when you're talking to somebody, you're never talking to hear that person in return. You're only talking to get out what you need to say and what's on your mind because you may think it's profound or uh, important or whatever, but the purpose in when they're communicating is only to be heard. So you're not going to get through to somebody that's not hearing you. But I got 10 seconds left. Yeah. So basically everybody think they got all the right answers and you can't be taught when you think you got the right answers. You ain't going to hear nothing back in your own conversation.
All right, dang. I was gonna give a little leeway though. She made sure she beat it too. All right, let's get K then. And then we gonna go up. Yeah. Okay, what you got for me, my brother? Oh yeah, mine. So
Because
what you got?
nobody want to listen. That it's short, simple, and sweet. Everybody think that they right. Nobody wants to be wrong. Nobody wants to take accountability on both ends. That's older and younger generation. That's the problem. That's why you can't never get through to old folks or young folk. Old folks stuck in their ways, and young folks think they know everything.
Mmm.
I don't need no more time. That was it right there. Yeah.
I know I about to say I already knew better when I was giving him a time. He got a whole 2 minutes too. He got a privilege, the my privilege. All right. Andrea, let me before I start you up, let me in his real quick. Andrea, go ahead. What you got for me?
I agree with the young man at the bottom that's under me. I don't got nothing, don't need no timer. I agree. People, old heads don't want to learn nothing, don't want to be taught nothing new, and new heads don't want to be taught nothing same. They're just stuck in their ways, they're stubborn. Both. So, period.
Okay, go ahead with the period too. Okay, just making sure we all right. A Nazi. Should I do 10 minutes? I'm talking. Let me stop messing with him. A Nazi. Why can't we get through the old folks and young folks?
The young men can't ask no questions, and the old men ain't got no answers. Simple as that.
Nazi, what the? Y'all hurt my chest. What is this world coming to? Oh man, I gotta start. It's two people. I gotta make sure they the right people in here. Somebody that took over. They said, "I'm stop messing." All right, all right, all right. A poet, what you got for me?
It's just ignorance. It's a lack of empathy and a lack of patience above anything else. Because when you come to a conversation, if you're not considering the other person, you might as well go home. So if you're just coming to be right, if you're just coming to make a point, either way, you're not going to have a productive conversation. And life has a way of, affecting the amount of openness that people come with. So that's one thing. But I think that we, as the older community, are more we definitely have the greater responsibility. And I've always felt that way, even when I was younger. And so I can't change that now. I'm considered to be old, right? I also still put that same responsibility on me. The old should teach the young. So I do carry myself in a way that I do effectively come to the conversation. And when it's not working, learn to walk away. Take your ego out of it. Because that's going to be destructive. And I see that that's the problem that we have. Even if you have, whether you have answers or not, if you don't know how to walk away.
People are so scared of that music. She just, I don't even think she finished. She said, by the way,
Cut off like the Sopranos episode.
I didn't even press nothing. You just gonna end it. That was some funny stuff. All right, so and then I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna do one more, and then we could do an open panel again. Cause I'm just trying to get through all these. I gotta watch the time. And then we do open panel. Then we gonna finally do the old folks fellas today. So, matter of fact, we could just mix it in together if y'all want. If we could do that, then we could do an open panel though. All right. So, I can. Look, okay, baby, my baby. Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm wasting time, y'all. My bad. Poet, let's start with you. You could do a combination of both. Oh no, I ain't gonna overload like that. So older folks.
Kev, you could, because I just got to work, so you can drop me if you like. I ain't gonna. If you got something you want me to say.
Okay. I had to overload it then real quick. All right.
Don't leave. I love when you speak.
She said she gotta go to work. What the heck? You better
I
get
know,
her fired.
Manita. I know. Oh no. Okay, I'll just let
Don't
her.
leave. Don't leave. Get fired because she like your way you sound. That's funny.
It's okay. I follow her.
Why you can't listen to younger people? Okay, don't you?
See. So older folks shouldn't go. Older folks shouldn't go back and forth with young folks, and should be held at a higher standard. Do you agree or disagree? Still a poet?
Yeah, I think I just said that in my answer, because I think that's part of being wise, right? That's the wisdom that we want them to listen to, so we have to display it. So if the conversation's not working, you've got to be the one to bow out. You can't expect somebody young, energized, full of ideas and opinions to drop their point of view. That's just, it's never happens. It's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Generation after generation, you have to have patience for that. And that's what you have to know when you go into the conversation. You can't forget that. So if it's not working, I bow out gracefully.
Okay, and then did old folks? I put 2 minutes up there as well because it's gonna be 2 questions. Did old folks fellas today?
I listened to, is it Anasi? What he said is absolutely correct. Like, they had an opportunity, but at the end of the day, they didn't. So I can't go back on that. Like, I just got to build my life from this way forward. So I can't even hold on to that, even though I think that some of that is true. But I also know that in some ways, my children will feel like I could have made better decisions as well. So again, it's that empathy piece that needs to carry on. I hope my children remember that. But yeah, I mean, we're not perfect in any generation. We're going to fail the next in some type of way because things are just not going to land perfect.
All right, Anasi, let me go ahead and give you 2 minutes. There's 2 questions. Anasi, older folks shouldn't go back and forth with young folks. Should they be held at a higher standard? Agree or disagree? I was supposed to have started when he started talking. Oops.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with that 100%. It shows your level of maturity or immaturity when you claim that you know better than somebody, but yet still you waste time going back and forth. I said it earlier today on the Lemus panel. Don't argue. I was cool with you. Don't argue with a brick wall. Don't argue with a fool. You stated the facts. If you know that the fire is hot, if you put your hand in the fire, you're gonna burn it, and you pass that wisdom on to somebody else. If they want to put their fire in their hand, they want to fuck around and find out that fire burns their hand, that's on them. You drop your wisdom, you drop your knowledge, and you leave it there. Going back and forth solves absolutely nothing, and it gets nothing done. So it shows the level of your maturity or immaturity when you go back and forth with someone who you claim that you're helping, because at a certain point, it's no longer help. At a certain point, it's no longer advice. It's no longer wisdom. You just trying to be the loudest one in the room and the one that wants to be heard the most. And that shows a sign of where you lack it, in my opinion.
All right. And the old folks fail us today. You got one last couple minutes, last seconds.
Yeah, I believe they did, because each generation should be better than the next generation. And if they keep saying that the generations are getting worse and worse, then that means you as my teacher, my mentor, you failed me. You know, especially if you did not prepare me, and you withheld information and you didn't tell the whole truth, whatever the case may be. But again, to resort back to what I just said, if you know that you gave me all the tools that I needed to survive and to be successful, and I did not use those tools to my benefit, then it's not on you. You didn't fail me. But if there was something that you purposely held back, absolutely you failed me. And can't nobody change my mind on that.
All right. I'm gonna drop you poet so I can get the thing, because I think it's better to drop than you drop.
Bye.
Don't leave. I mean, I thought, yeah. I just want to drop. Yeah. Because I think they said that worked better. Wow, there you go. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, poet. And you know it. All right. Andrea, you got 2 minutes. Older folks shouldn't go back and forth with young folks and should be held at a higher standard. Do you agree or disagree? And then, did the old folks fail us today? Go ahead and give them 2 minutes.
I agree. And I actually had to get dropped. Can you drop me? I can't answer this right now. I'm sorry. But I agree, and that old folks, I'm just say I agree, and then old folks stuff today. I agree and disagree. Actually, I agree, and then also I feel like generations is always gonna feel like that we should talk them something. Same what poet said. But okay, bye now. I have to
You said you out? You gotta go. All right, got you. Appreciate you.
No, thank you. Thank you so much. Bye.
Yep. All right. Kay, what you got for me? So he get the big 4 minutes, even though I know he ain't gonna do all of them. But let's see. 4 minutes on the question. Should they go back and forth?
I don't think nobody should go back and forth. Honestly, it defeats
I
the
feel you
purpose.
on that.
If you got to get a point across, you don't have to argue with a person or yell, you know what I'm saying, try to establish dominance to get your point across. So as far as going back and forth between older and younger generation, no. Being held to a higher standard, both should be held to a higher standard. You feel me? At the end of the day, we all adults, regardless. So it's like, if you're gonna hold one generation to a standard, you need to you need to hold this other generation to the same standard or something similar to that. Because it's like, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day, we're still adults.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna do one to one, do it to the other as well. That creates unity. The thing we out here creating is a false sense of unity.
Okay. He didn't even make it to the minute. Okay, yeah, 4 minutes. All right. Oh no. So it's my bad. I forgot he did. But the other one is did old folks fellas. I ain't gonna even give him a timer. Did old folks fellas today?
I'm not gonna say that they failed us. More so, it's the fact of there was a lot of things that they didn't know that we learned as we progressed. You know what I'm saying? As times progress, things that we learned start to progress. So, you know what I'm saying? There's some things back then they didn't know that they got more of a general idea of now. And it's things that we didn't know that they were teaching us that we got more of a, you know what I'm saying, general idea of it now. So I can't say that they failed us. It's just that they weren't taught some of the things that we have taught ourselves today, or the things we learned today. That's the only difference. Not that they failed us, it's just they weren't taught certain ways that we're taught today. If that makes sense.
Okay, I can see that. All right. Pretty Moco, what you got for me? Got 2 minutes in a minute, but I'm gonna read it over again. Older folks shouldn't go back and forth with young folks and should be held at a higher standard. Agree or disagree? And then the old folks fellas today.
I agree that they shouldn't go back and forth. Um, and I semi agree that they should be held at a higher standard. And I say that because it's like when you say older folks, I generally have a persona in mind, right? But a lot of people got older in age, and that's about it. And they don't, they didn't adjust to, what you would personify in mind when you hear older person. So
Mm,
then you got them acting just as, young minded as the person they talking to, and now you got going to back and forth. You know, oh, I forgot you don't like personals, but I see it a lot, right? And it's just like, how do you stoop down that fast, that quick, fast, in a hurry, and you gutter with the young bulls? Like, wait a minute, whoa, where's the guidance going, right? So yeah, there's that, and then the old folks fellas. Yes, essentially, yes, they did. However, I don't know if they understood at their at their at their prime how much responsibility would have been on them. Like now we have TikTok, we have social media, we're talking more, we're aware of how much we're influencing and being looked at, right? But back then, I don't think they had an idea of how great the burden was for them to, you know, be here for the youth today. So yes, they felt us, but I think it should be like somewhat of grace, and a lot of them are still learning.
I can feel that.
I'm done.
I can feel that. Yeah, we can admit failure. That don't mean we don't have to give them no. Don't have to shun them. We can give them grace still and all that. I feel you on that, dog. Just like I would want my children to give me grace, for the lack of what I know. But we can't. If we ask this for this certain lifestyle for this whatever, and we fail to do it, I mean it's okay. Sometimes we fail at things. We ain't perfect. But yeah, I like that one. Go ahead, food and pups. Hold on, give you 2 minutes when you start. But old folks, fellas, and then also older folks shouldn't go back and forth with young folks and should be held to a higher standard. Do you agree or disagree? Food and pups. I'm not resetting the time either. All right. Is you know you muted, right? I don't know. Is she? Yeah.
Wait, who?
It's the quietest she ever been. I'm talking about pups. Oh
Oh.
my. Oh my. All right. I guess. Oh, what happened? Hope everything okay. All right. Silent. That's just what happened a few minutes ago. Silent. Older folks shouldn't go back and forth with young folks and should be held to a higher standard. Agree or disagree? And did the old folks fail us today? Yeah, 2 minutes.
I disagree. You know what I'm saying? I don't think the old folks should be held to the standard because at this point we're all adults, and if we're all adults, then some point the younger generation got to be set to the same standard as the old folks. Now, the second question says, did old folks fail us today? I wouldn't say that either because for the most part, it depends if you listen to your parents and got the wisdom. Some of us, let's be honest, we never listened to our parents. We was rebellious in our younger years. And then some
Mm.
of us had to go out there and learn it on our own to understand what our parents was telling us was actually true, depending if you listen to your parents or not. So, when you say did the old folks fail us today, I'm not gonna point the finger. I'm not one to point the finger. I like to take accountability. But going back to that first question, I wouldn't agree with somebody. I wouldn't sit there and disagree with somebody younger. But at the same time, I am an adult, and I ain't gonna lie. If your disagreement leads to a physical altercation, I'm not having it. So if you could disagree and walk away, if I disagree and walk away, and you give me a physical encounter, there will be problems. Other than that, that's all I got to say.
All right. Let me let my mind go last. Uh, Ross. I can't do it.
Hello. It's you can just say raw, but it's
Yeah,
RA sis.
you know better, man. That's messed up, man. You knew
Okay.
some people was gonna struggle.
Why everybody wanna come for me for it? Okay,
Ah,
wait,
'cause that's
real
bold,
quick.
man. Do
No,
you
hold
know that was
on.
bold?
But hey, hear me out. Hear me out. So I have rheumatoid arthritis. So it stands for rheumatoid arthritis sister. I
Okay,
am sis.
okay.
So yeah, I had to put it together like that to make whatever. So
I almost
golly.
threw up trying to say the name. I was like, "Dog, I can do it. I know I can." I'm like,
We
"Oh,
could
Ross."
just we couldn't just stop it raw. We couldn't just stop it raw.
Yeah, I could have. I could have. You right about that.
You know what
So,
I'm
all right,
saying?
I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes. We on a question of older folks shouldn't go back and forth with young folks, and it should be held to a higher standard. Do you agree or disagree? And then the second question is, did old folks fellas today? So you got 2 minutes.
Wait a minute. I used to smoke back then. You took two. You went too fast.
All
Slow
right.
down.
So the first one, older folks shouldn't go back and forth with young folks, and
Agreed.
should be held to a higher standard. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree they shouldn't go back and forth. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I agree they shouldn't go back and forth.
Hmm. If you
And
want to expand on it or not, or
so I feel like the older generation did the best they could with what they knew.
Mhm.
And hey, I feel like we turned out well the 70s, 80s, those, and on back before that. But I feel like after the 80s babies, I feel like we dropped the ball, and the generation of men and women weakened after that. At that point,
I agree.
yeah, that's what I
They
think.
they so weak today.
Oh man, it's different. And okay, so what else? Wait, what am I missing? What I missed?
And then the other one is the old folks fellas today.
Not the ones before us, but I think we did. Yeah,
Okay.
I
Okay.
really do. So yeah, it's a bad situation, but these are the results. So we seeing the results. These kids ain't scared of nothing. We were scared of something.
Boy,
They ain't scared
YNs,
of nothing.
boy.
And that's what I tell people. You got to instill some level of fear there. It has to be. We were scared of something. Like we just didn't play.
Right. We was scared to put soap in our mouths and
I'm telling you,
get that switch.
go
Now
get
we
that
like,
switch.
motherfucker, I
Yep.
dare you to touch me. They punching teachers. They doing all type of stuff.
Oh
Now they
yeah,
don't even
no,
care.
no, we would have been soufflex. But so I have one daughter and she's 21. Ain't no way I'm gonna let her play like that. Like I just don't play like that. You know what I'm saying? With nobody,
Hmm.
the elders, the stuff, we just don't do that. So I'm grateful. I got lucky, but she's a great girl, and we don't play them kind of games over here. So those are my thoughts.
Okay, for
And
sure,
thank
for
you for
sure, for sure.
having me, Rasa. Since you.
Appreciate it. All right,
Your name sound like the sound you make if you eat something hot. You gotta that shit. You know, you
Oh,
eat something hot and you.
so you messy too.
I
Yeah,
swear, that's
y'all
exactly
messy
what happened
now.
when I
Y'all
tried to
messy.
say your name. I was like, it sounds like you blow something hot. Like you
I'm
eat a
good.
hot pocket and it be burning your
you
mouth
know,
and your tongue get
And I
burnt.
came
You
in here
gotta.
because of Austin. Look what I done
Yeah.
came into.
Oh, okay.
It's a-
You don't know me. I'm petty.
it is not
Right,
a safe
Michael.
space like that. All right, so also you got 4 minutes, 2 questions, because you're the mod. You know the question.
Dang, my phone must die. No, I don't. The last two.
What the heck? I thought she was splashing in the bathtub. Like, got too comfortable. What the
You
heck is
saw the
that?
last. Dang, I go busy. You saw the last two.
Yeah, the last two. Yeah.
Yeah, so older folks shouldn't go back and forth. I don't think they should go back and forth like, tit for tat type thing. For sure, once you realize that, okay, it's not getting anywhere, I understand that. But at the same time, it's okay to stand your ground on what you believe. And that's like, you don't need to concede necessarily just to end the conversation. You can end the conversation just by saying, okay, you know what, I see we're not going to get anywhere here. That's fine. That's cool. But not concede. I think we've done enough conceding. That's why people are doing what they want to do now. See, it's a problem. So don't concede. You can just there's ways to end conversations without agreeing. And then some people now think that that's disrespectful for not agreeing. So that's crazy. Did old folks fail us today? In some ways, yes. That's why there's a lot of people today who, are telling stories and all these different things because they didn't get to speak. I think that's an issue. We learned that, like Anasi said, be willing and be able to ask questions. Allow your kids to ask questions and have answers for them. Or also tell them, hey, I don't know, I'll get back to you on that. It's okay for kids to ask questions. I think people are learning that as well. So in that way, could you say they failed us in some ways? Absolutely. But like I said, I'm gonna end it on this. Every generation has failed their kids and will fail them in some type of way. So what you can do now is be mindful of what you saw happen and start correcting things now while you can. That's it.
Why is that timer getting y'all together and stuff? That's crazy. Now y'all not even letting the timer go now. That's crazy. Boy, that boy got to y'all. I mean, I'm seeing, boy, even, okay, all right. She had a whole 4 minutes, didn't even use it. Okay. All right. So let me do my perspective. That we could do open panel from this point for at least about maybe another hour, because I might stay up a little later than usual.
You didn't let me answer.
You came back, so I'm talking to you. But go ahead.
You forgot about me.
No, you
Could
forgot
you?
about yourself because I was calling you. You ain't saying nothing. We just sitting there looking at crickets.
I told you how to, I'm a human. I had to use a ladies' room. Pardon me.
Oh, nah, I didn't know that. All right, I ain't want to make no assumptions either. We just somebody
Yeah,
let
I
left.
go poo-poo.
All right, so
Okay,
okay,
it
I get you,
happened.
poops. All right. So the thing is, I'm gonna give you 2 minutes. Older folks shouldn't go back and forth with young folks, and should be held to a higher standard. Do you agree or disagree? And then the second question is, did old folks fail us? So 2 minutes on the board for you.
Old folks fail us? Fail. Do they fail us? Have they failed us? Do they fail us? Those are two different questions.
You gonna use your question, your stuff? Oh yeah.
I
So
want to know,
did
have
they
they
fail
failed
us?
us?
Did they fail us?
Okay. I will start there. Absolutely not. So super chill, so super cool. They have the sweat and the BLOOD. Blood isn't a bad word, jeepers. Yeah, they did all the stuff. What do you mean, did they fail us? Absolutely not. So the other one, I would rather revert to like my favorite songs. You guys keep wanting to remake, but they're really pretty much badass on their own. So I was bringing up Johnny Cash, Hurt, versus Nine Inch Nails doing Hurt. Or you can look at like a lot of different people that want to backpack, piggyback, and remaster and do their sample. Like, stop it. Be creative. You can't be, because they're so much better than you. They do it naturally. They have the ice cream, and you can't have it. So stop being mad. And you don't have no talent. So it's like simple. Instead of being like emotional, you can just say the talent is real. You have to borrow TV shows, creators, this, that, la la la. And I'm not even out of time. I'll land my plane while I sing. We're all better because of the people we stand on the shoulders of. As well as being a creative new person, you have to know your history so you don't repeat the bad stuff. I land my plane.
All right. Okay, I'm digging this time, boy. Boy, getting people together. All right. So, all right, I'm gonna say my perspective, and from this point, sure, it's gonna be open panel for the rest of the night. All right. So older folks shouldn't go back. So, of course, I wrote it, so of course I'm gonna agree with it. So the reason why I say that and why they should be held to a higher standard, and I think even with us, right? Because we got people that's younger than us, so we could be considered older to them. So I think that anybody, you could, like I said, you could be 1 year older, you could be some minutes older. I think that I have this expectation that if you are older, you should be more of the leader. It's just an expectation. It don't mean that is right, but I just expect older people that's older to be the ones that lead by example. I don't believe you should stoop down low to somebody that don't had as much experience as you. That shouldn't, you should. I think that's just all our goal. Even like as parents, right? You don't sit there and go back and forth trying to be just like you supposed to show them the better route. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think you should be arguing with them and all that stuff. Should let them have it. Be the bigger person. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to do all these things. So like I said, me myself, I do hold anybody that's older to a higher standard because we expect the younger to not know any better. You know what I'm saying? That they're still trying to figure themselves out. Should they telling themselves as when they get older, they're like, I'm grown. That's convincing yourself. They're just trying to convince themselves. And anybody that be using that term, well, I'm grown. they still trying to tell themselves that, they're trying to figure out that's what keeps them. Don't do it. Don't think about it, pups. I see you. But they still trying to convince themselves that they're grown and stuff. Yeah, but
You're so
overall,
cool.
overall, and then the other part, did they fail us? Yes, I'm gonna say yes too. Um, and it's okay, right? It's okay once you and they gotta be able to put their pride to the side that, oh, it's things that I did not know. It's sad that we gotta be the ones, but it's okay. That's how the way the world works, man. It's sad that we gotta be the ones that be like, well, we understand you. Y'all didn't know that much. You should be able to tell us that. I don't get why we gotta tell y'all that, but they don't. I don't believe in that stuck in that way stuff. That's something they choose to do. They just don't want to open themselves up. I don't want to keep on, just like I don't like that. Well, that's just being a man. That's just being a woman. I don't want to say that's just being old. I don't like saying stuff like that because it's going to keep them stuck and think what they're doing is right. And they can be like, well, that's what we do as older folks and all that stuff. No, you could change that, but you refuse to. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So overall, yes, it's okay because sometimes we may fail from the lack of not knowing. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we can always fix it. So yes, I would say as in being about good examples, and that's been years and years and generations. Yes, to be a good example, majority of the times, yes, the older folks have failed us, but it's just we gotta be able to admit it, and then from that point, do your best. That's all we gotta do. We gotta at least admit it first, and then we can progress from that point. But if you keep on acting like you have not did nothing wrong and all this other stuff or whatever, we just never get better. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, open panel, y'all. We rocking for the rest of the night, and anything y'all want to address that's on this prompt, we can just go over it and all that. That's what we're gonna do from this point.
Ooh, I love it. I want to hear from whoever first, but let me just say this one thing. It's really incredible that a lot of elders have to deal with being put away in homes and not considered important. In other cultures, other societies on this planet, they have much more respect than what Americans give their elders. And so it depends on your tradition, because that's real talk. We don't put our people in homes. They live with us forever. They get on your nerves, but they live with us forever. I land my plane. Until later.
So I wanted to respond to what you were saying about them failing us and stuff like that. We all was taught and learned, the things that we know now are on our, where we are. So I don't know. I think for me, the people before us, I extend a little grace because they are stuck in the box. They only knew what to do as far as they were taught to do this stuff. So I guess I try not to hold them to. They didn't know. You don't know what you don't know. You know what I'm saying? And they just stuck in that way. So I do feel bad for them in a way. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't know nothing else.
Yeah.
So,
my older speaks 5 languages. She plays 3 instruments. What are these little kids playing? They can't even conjugate a verb. So I doubt that you can say the younger generation are doing better than the elders. These elders have boots on the ground, eating their sandwich. They know how to change tires, weld, surf, la la la. What do these kids know how to do?
They trying to be just like these young folks now. So quit that. We ain't gonna act
you
like that.
You know doggone well. You
they over there twerking on the floor. They not. That's why I said we ain't.
One.
It's not no grandma. It's not no big moms no more. That's all I know.
No, there are. My tias, like they're great aunts. It just
I mean, it's a few of them. It's a few of them. It's a few. I'll give it to you. It's a few.
I mean, 80, 90 years old. They remember all this stuff. They're like looking at me like you're being a dumb dummy. I'm like, okay, I know I am. I know.
When the last time you got soap put in your mouth?
Like a month ago.
Oh no, that was years ago. Ooh-wee.
The reason why
I got soap in my mouth. I was at a funeral. I got a pocket. She literally stuck it in my mouth. Like, oh, don't play with us. We Dominican Italiano. We don't play those games. You get corrected.
Nothing you didn't say.
You will get corrected.
She gonna make
sure elders will check you. If they have to stand on a chair, they will check you. Don't play with it. And you better not argue with them.
Your food can have a conversation with the wall. You hear me?
Man.
But Rob, please.
All I did was agree and then also support my situation. My tias, my aunties, my great aunts.
Cam up, man. Cam up. I gotta see who be talking, man. Cam up. I don't believe it.
My little sister.
I just want you to
Get,
know you are loved and appreciated by
nah,
your
I ain't trying to hear
elders.
that.
I
Cam
really
up.
think she should.
We gonna make sure.
We're
I
trying to
gotta
teach
see
that,
your expressions
papito.
when you be talking for real. I ain't
Yeah,
gonna
we
lie.
want to meet food today. Let's no.
All right, yeah, I ain't about to keep letting you slide like that.
I
What are
didn't
you
know.
letting me slide upon?
Nah, cam up.
Why? Why?
Cam up. I got to see if you're. I got to just see your
I
expressions
will send
when
you
you
a
say, and then
picture
I got
of
to see how you
myself.
just be thinking. Like if you just be really like,
Mm-hmm.
if you just stare in this,
I live a
if you
very
stare in the
easy
spaces,
breezy
just go
lemon
crazy. Like
squeezy life.
you probably just
It's
looking.
my
You probably
voice.
just be looking at a
Yes, it is
wall
my
going
voice.
berserky.
No, I'm actually staring at a 135-pound Connie Corso.
Oh, what the? Oh, so you ain't a dog getting that work? Okay.
He's
Oh,
my medical alert dog. He has his own company. I have 2 companies. I
Okay,
run my
I got you. I
life.
got you. Yeah, that's
You
cool.
know what
That's
I'm
cool.
saying?
I ain't
I'm
want to
very
get
professional.
dip in a deep thing. I didn't know. But go ahead, Arthur. I know you're
well,
trying to slip
okay.
in.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, to Rod's point, my granddad, and that's like, well, before he passed, like he was, of course, clearly, he said, he was talking about, he was talking to his kids, and he was actually telling them that he apologized. He was apologizing for not knowing what he understood, like later on. And this is why I say, like, as far as how he raised them, his strictness, he just thought that was the right way to make sure your kids are tough and correct them in all these kind of ways. And he didn't always do it properly. So with that point, because I always hear that phrase, and I feel like sometimes we say it as cop outs, but really, in some ways, it's just genuinely true, right? And I think if we understand that better, we won't be as like judgmental in a sense of that, and we won't be as like feeling like, well, you should have. Because I promise you, I'm gonna keep saying this. Every generation is gonna get the chance to do what we doing to our older generation, where they're gonna do it to us.
Fact.
So it's just having to understand that no one will get it right per 100%. You just could just stop. You can just stop holding your breath because you're gonna pass out. Okay, just let it go. You're not gonna get it all right at one point. When you get as you get older, hopefully you start gaining wisdom and understanding, realizing, wow, how I thought this way wasn't right. It's people right now, younger people, 15, 16, 20, they're going to get older, hopefully. And they're going to get to say, man, my mama taught me this and told me this. I should, man, it's just going to happen because we understand that as we continue to grow and learn, we're going to keep growing and learning as we get older. And if you're wise enough, if you're compassionate enough, you're going to realize, man, I apologize for not really knowing this, for not thinking to do this, or actually knowing it and didn't do it. So it's just, I mean, it's so many different things, and we're not any better in my sense than them.
Fact.
That's why I put more energy to the younger, because at the end of the day, if you so this is brand new life, hear me roar, we young and popping, we got it going on, we control it. Okay, so what you gonna do with your power? Because if you're not doing nothing better than what we did, then how you boasting?
Exactly.
You're not no better. You get to do something different, but if you choose not to, that's on you. You have parents who some people don't who have more or less, but you have people who do bust their tail, who work hard, who do everything they can do, who at least try to be understanding to their children. That's why they let them ask questions. Now they understand that it's a continuation of learning. Like, dang, questions. I should let my kids ask questions. So we're all learning from each other. The only thing is to learn from each other. That's all you should be doing. Not judging necessarily, because all you're gonna do is keep repeating things if you don't learn from what you think wasn't right. It's not wrong to say, hey, y'all missed the ball on this. It's not wrong for that. The only problem is when the older people was like, no, we didn't do that. You can't discredit what they went through, what they experienced. You can't do
That's
that.
right. That's
It's
right.
just
And a
like
lot of
that.
them
But
do.
also, my love, you have to remember they're talking about experiences that were not equitable, were not equal, and they want you to be safe. If you looked at somebody the wrong way, they could hang you on a tree. If you walk down the wrong street, if even now today, if you go running down the street, you can get shot or blah blah blah. You know, so it's not like we're so much free than we used to be. So
Well,
please listen to your elders because they're trying to protect your silly self. They want you to know you're still not as free as you think you are. Just because Jimmy and Jane can do it doesn't mean you can. Your name is
facts.
Apollonia.
Yeah.
Let
We're
me get
going.
Ryan, and then we're gonna get Denise in because she haven't said anything. Let's get the
We're going.
coach in right after.
I'll be quick. We're gonna on a live learning. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna never get it all like Alta was saying, just to piggyback. And I've had to apologize for some.
Hmm? What happened?
I had got a call. Jeez. I
You
had
better
to.
answer that phone.
No, I thought that was my mom. I'm gonna call her back. But I had to learn some stuff and apologize for some stuff as a parent. My only kid is 21, and I was learning. I was winging it, and I only did what I knew to do, what I was taught, and what I learned along the way. But we just, I don't know. We got to do better, but we do have to extend grace to the people before us, in my opinion. Dang, and that call made me lose my train of thought. But y'all go ahead. I'm here.
All right, let
I
me
just
get
want
the
to say
coach.
one
Let me
thing. I
get
don't
the
have any
coach
munchie teeth,
in.
but I have 3 elders. My 92-year-old neighbor.
Go ahead, Denise.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening to you hosts. Good evening
What's up?
to
Goody.
the
What's up? What's
panel.
up? What's up?
Hope everyone's having a good evening. My name is Denise, and I'm 44 years old. I'm a mom of 3. And is it the older or younger generation that's more of the problem today? So I'm going to talk from the perspective of my professional opinion because I deal with both the younger generation as well as the older generation in the capacity of a personal fitness trainer. I'm a certified personal fitness trainer and I work at a gym. And I encounter both the younger generation and the older generation. And I will be honest with y'all, the older generation is more stubborn, they're more set in their ways, and they don't want to listen. They're not as coachable.
Mm.
They're not as coachable. And I'm only talking in the professional aspects of my job as a trainer, trying to talk to them about proper nutrition that correlates with fitness so that they can meet their fitness and health goals. And I get a lot more pushback from the older generation than I do from the younger generation. So I'm gonna land my plane there. Thank you for the time.
Hey, I got me another squad. Hey, I told you. Sorry, no. But go ahead, sophisticated. What you got for me? Then we go back to open panel.
Let me step out. Um, Man, I love these little panels, man. It seems like only on Sunday we get some peaceful shit. Um, Monday through Friday be wild, yo. Anyway, the older generation is the problem. They're a huge problem. Like,
Oh, I got another teammate.
they're a huge problem. Who did we learn it from? You can't tell them nothing, and they always going. And they say stupid stuff. Oh, young people don't want to work. My mom would come to me because she work at Grady. She's like, man, these young people don't work. No, no. Young people are more educated. They more got the internet now, and and I don't blame the older people. All they had was the government. We all know how they are. Shoot, only time the government is telling the truth is when they're talking to themselves about going to war. So it's the older generation. It's not even close. Um,
Mm.
in my humble opinion, it's the older generation. They don't listen, and they're very stubborn. They think they know it all because they don't live their life, but they're not open to new ideas and new innovation, and that's a huge problem. You know, why can't we get through to old folks? Sometimes it's the messenger. As far as like getting to the young folks, it's just certain people. I don't want to listen to somebody that's. I'm tired. Growing up as a young man in Metro Atlanta, you hear these older people talking about, oh, back in my day, I did this, I did that. Man, I'm young. I want to do it too. You done had your fun. I want to do it too. I don't want to hear about you, hear all that nonsense that what you did. So it's sometimes it get hard because we want to have fun too, and the way they approach this is not resonating with younger people. You know what I'm saying? So it's sometimes it's the way they come off, and then sometimes it's also the messenger. As far as getting the old folks, I don't know. You can't really tell them nothing. They think they know it all, and I really that's really what it is. And what it says, older folks shouldn't go back and forth with young folks and should be
Hey
held
bro,
to a higher
the
standard.
chat is asking how old you are, real quick. The chat
I'm
wants to know how old you are.
34. Um, should yeah, hell yeah, older people should be held to a higher standard. Uh, you should be held to a higher standard. If I'm talking to you and you're 50 years old, man, I'm gonna hold you to a higher standard. You should be held to a higher standard. You've been on this earth twice as my age, twice my age, or you got 20 years on me. Yeah, you should be held to a higher standard. Point blank. Period.
Why? Why so?
Thank you. Well,
Is there
not
another
another.
question? The old folks. I can't see that last question.
It says that old folks fail us today.
I want to say yes, but I won't be so quick to say yes.
Keep that energy, my friend.
I would probably say I'll probably say more yes than no. Because we obviously we learned something, but it wasn't a high value learning. It wasn't a high value learning. It was like I hear you, but it's not quality learning. I learned something, so I can't say they failed, but I mean it's definitely a lot of room for improvement.
Would
You
you
know,
would you say would you say at the very least you learned what not to do?
well I say this.
The heck
This
was
is
that
how
noise?
this is how I live my life. A fool learns from somebody else's mistakes. A wise person learns from someone else. So I talk to a lot of older people and try to learn from what they did so I don't make the same mistake. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to make mistakes. You see what I'm saying? I put it to you like this. For my mom, for my mom, she did her best raising 3 kids. It was hard. There's some things I look back as an adult and like, man, you could have did this, you could have did that. But once I became a child, like, man, now I understand, and now that I have a kid, I'm like, okay, it's a little bit more understanding. So I take what she gave me and I build off that. So that way my daughter can build off what I got and what her grandma taught me.
Okay, because I wanted to know at what point do we take accountability for our own selves? It's easier to point out the window than it is to point in the mirror sometimes. So, I just want to put that out there.
Well,
This
You
is
said that
exactly
very
what
well.
that's what
to me,
everybody heard from him. It was blame game all the way, gaslighting all the way. When are you accountable for you being a dumb dummy? They
Well,
already
wait a
gave you
minute.
advice.
I
They
ain't saying it
told you
like
how to
Listen, I
that.
do
ain't
it.
say
You're
all
standing
that.
on their
Whoa.
shoulders. What are you doing? If you don't get
so
it, you don't get it. Don't blame them.
can I ask? So can you give me an example? Accountable to what exactly? Because accountable to what? Can you give me an example? Like what are we? Because that could be very broad.
Well,
Like what
you're
are we being
holding
accountable
yourself
to?
to a standard of what? Oh, everybody else is their fault. All you're saying is, oh, them, point the finger. I've not heard you say a single thing about what you are wrong for, what you could do better at, how you contribute in a positive way that is different than them. That's what I'm speaking about.
Well, I hold myself accountable by educating myself. I hold myself accountable by looking at ways I can be better. You know what I'm saying? But there's some things that could be taught from older folks that could be taught to us that's not being taught. You know what I'm saying? And so I hold myself accountable by reading and being self-disciplined and being responsible
So if
and
you
being
read and you
patient.
know history, correct? You read
History of what exactly?
everything. I study
History.
everything.
So
What
if
about
we,
you? Whenever somebody tells me something, if I think it might be important, I do my own research. So I can figure out whether or not I believe or trust or if they're right or wrong. I do my own research. I hold myself accountable for being a dumb dummy
Yeah,
or
me too.
not.
But this is where I was coming from, sophisticated. I ain't finna call y'all them names.
She said, "Don't
That's
put me on
not
right
it."
a
though.
name.
but
It's a
Well,
colloquialism.
so my thing is, at some point, it's on us. You know what I'm saying? That's where I was coming from, and that's
Are
why
you
I
are
asked.
you, are you
Yeah,
part of the
true.
young generation or are you part of the older generation?
Oh, baby, I'm old. I'm OG.
Y'all better stop
How old?
saying y'all
Wait, wait,
fucking
wait, wait, wait,
old.
wait.
Y'all ain't no damn
What's the
old.
age bracket? Not to be your business, but we
Are
got
you in A?
categories.
Do
What's
you
the
get
age
AARP?
bracket?
What's wrong with
Please,
being
And
old?
please,
she
please say you're talking to me. Please say you're not talking to me. Please
Kev,
say you're talking to me.
Kev,
Are you talking
Kev.
to me?
Who?
Yo,
Yeah,
Dang,
yeah.
I'm
Kev,
40.
how
I'm
old? Kev,
40.
how old are you?
yo, I'm about to be 35 this year.
Oh
Okay,
no,
I'm
you still
40.
you just big bruh. You big bruh.
I want to
Hmm.
add real quick to that. So I like that point though. Looking
I
out the
think I
window.
seen after you. Let me get Denise in and then Touche after that.
Oh, my apologies.
No, y'all good. Y'all good. The looking out the window
Am
thing.
I the only person that's
My,
29?
I
Is
think you're
anybody
the
else
only
34
Yeah,
person that
you
don't
a
know how
years?
to
little
say
baby,
meeting,
man. You still a baby. You ain't even
friend.
I'm
30.
not a baby.
Whoa.
Whew.
Time out. I'll take full offense to that shit. Fuck what my name is. I take full offense because I'm
Oh,
only 28.
I forgot Kay a baby too.
I ain't gonna lie. If
Hey, still a little bit wet behind the ears.
if
You
you
know
Wait a
what?
if you
minute.
Hey,
not
that's Hey, that's my
If you
brother.
not in
That's what
your
we're talking
30s yet,
about. We're
y'all
having good
are the youth.
And
conversation.
the wet crew.
If you
So
guys are not in your 30s yet, you guys are still a little wet behind the ears. I'm
We're
just
yeah,
not
telling
I
you.
wet. We're doing good
I agree.
things.
Okay,
I'm
I
just
want to see
saying.
what you were
I'm just
saying there.
saying. Listen,
We're
where my
making
you
cane?
things
Where my cane
happen.
at,
Life
So
man?
treat
y'all,
us
I,
that
I can
yeah,
way.
accept
yeah,
that. I can
y'all
accept that.
No,
need to.
I'm not saying y'all the YNs, right? But I'm just saying y'all kind of like a little bit above them. They're not.
YNs ain't got nothing to do with being young either. So
Yes,
Right.
it's an age bracket.
Thank
It's the
you,
age
because
bracket.
I
good
promise
lord.
you, I am a
Fool,
good
please,
person.
fool. Let me tell you something. This is where the older and younger need to learn to come together. If y'all need to learn respect, okay? That's your problem. How about that?
What happened?
We
Amen.
having a conversation, somebody speaking, and y'all keep cutting in. That's actually rude. Can y'all
Respect
stop
your
doing that?
elders.
It's an open panel. It's okay
Boo!
to have
God
a
dang it. If
conversation right now.
someone is talking, you shouldn't be. It's actually that simple. That's actually insane that you don't get that. That's actually really insane. So this is the thing. When y'all talk about higher standard, older folks be held to a higher standard. Are you going to hold them to a higher standard and then respect them at the standard that they're at? So they're high? Are you? Or are you going to just make that a thing to say? Because if you hold them to a higher standard, that means the respect should also go hand in hand with that. The
Mm-hmm.
problem is
I
you
am
don't.
respecting. I
Food,
just
if
want to
you
know.
don't, if me, I'm about to drop you. Like I'm really not about to do this with you. I can't. Okay, the patience has been there, and it's about to go out the door. Okay, it's really that simple. This is why when people get older, nobody taught me anything. Nobody taught me anything of substance. You know what? 1, 2, 3, ABC is substance. It's necessary to teach you. Y'all think you got to learn all these intricate things because you learned something intricate in 2025. There's basic things that y'all need to learn. And if y'all can't understand the basis of something, don't try to learn calculus yet. You still in kindergarten. You was
Mm.
taught something, and ain't nobody gonna teach you more than what you're able to learn. And if you can't learn to be quiet when somebody else is talking, you don't need to learn calculus. You need to still learn how to shut the hell up when someone's speaking. So anyway, like I said, um, standards. If you have a higher standard for people, respect their
You're
higher
so
standard.
spicy. I love it.
You're welcome. Shut the fuck up.
I
Okay.
love you, baby girl. You're
So,
awesome.
so if you hold somebody to a higher standard, respect them at the standard that they're at, so that we don't have to keep blaming people before. You can tell them and say, hey, this is what I wish you would have did differently. Now let me look in the mirror, like Ross said. Let me look in the mirror and see, whoa, I got a lot of work to do myself. So I can't really put them too far down because I don't know every part of their story. Yes, could they have done better in some ways for some people's story? Man, I've heard some stories and they dead wrong for some stuff, unaliving wrong of what they've done to to people and not learn from these things. So yes, some people didn't know better, and yes, some people need to do better, and all these different things, and own up to a lot of different things. That's fine, that's fair. But when we're having this conversation, understand someone's going to come to you and they're going to say, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you understand this? So be working on you while you're trying to tell and correct the people before. All of it comes together. We all need to grow. We all need to learn. Hey, learn from me. I'll learn from you. That's how you keep life going. That's it.
All right, go ahead, Denise, then Touche.
Are we on the
Yeah,
second question?
you can do any of because we already went through all of them, so you can pick any of the questions.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I know it
Uh,
just probably turned because I know you. Yeah, so yeah, we went
Okay,
through them all, so you can pick
okay,
one anyone. Yep.
okay, thank you. It says, why can't we get through to old or young folks? And honestly, y'all, I think it really is for the same reason because we both think that we're right. We both
Mm.
we both think that we're so right in the direction that we're in, and there's variables depending on, whatever the topic matter is that I feel like the older generation don't feel like they can learn from the younger generation, which is very much untrue because the younger generation, they're going through our current modern times, and they can absolutely teach us a lot of things in a lot of different areas from technology to just how to advance in this modern time. And older people, they can teach younger people just more of the traditional things that actually worked during their time as younger people. And the truth is, you just take the parts that is going to work for you, take them and put them in your mental toolkit, and the parts that that don't work, let that roll off. That's not going to work for you. Like, one size doesn't fit all in any situation. I know I'm being broad with my comment, but by and large, that's how we get through to each other. We have to shift each other's perspective, and really, it's really being closed-minded to think that you can't learn from somebody for the simple fact that they're younger or older. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So why can't, oh no, older folks shouldn't go back and forth with young folks and should be held to a higher standard. Do I agree or do I disagree? I agree, because what are we going back and forth about? And
Mm-hmm.
older people have lived through so many different scenarios. We've seen the economy crash. We've been through economic rises. We've been through, at least in 2008, as well. We've been through a global pandemic as well as our young people. I'm not taking that away from y'all, but we've done it in different capacities. Some people were in high school, whereas other people were in the middle of their careers. So what I'm saying by saying all that is we are supposed to be held to a higher standard. By a certain age, I don't want to say certain things should have been accomplished, but certain things should have been learned. You should have learned how to take care of yourself. You should have learned how to be a fully functioning adult. And you should be able to teach other people, even if by teaching other people is telling them this is where I made my first mistake.
Denise, would you agree that
I think Rod had her hands up.
I'm gonna land.
Yes, she
I'm
you're
gonna
did.
land
really
there so
doing
other
a
people can
lot
Go
if
talk.
you
ahead.
even
Yeah,
start 10 companies, let alone if you know how to be like a good Girl Scout, Boy
Hold
Scout
on, dog
without
food. I
the
mean, what's
lot of.
what's her name? Food. Hold on a second. So that we're not dealing with the kids from yesterday or us. They not us. These are a whole different generation of kids, and their mindset is totally different. So what worked on us not gonna work on them. We have to come different. And that goes into what Alta was saying earlier about allowing them to ask questions. When I grew up, we did what we were told. We didn't have a choice. So
Mm-hmm.
we gave our kids choices moving forward, and I'm glad I did that because that's what I was speaking to earlier with my own daughter. I had to learn that she's not me. So things that worked for me wasn't working for her. So I
Mm-hmm.
had to go back to the drawing board, and let her ask questions and let her have a voice and things like that. That's something that I didn't have. So I just wanted to share that. And my grandma always said a bought lesson is better than a borrowed one. And that lady told a bunch of jokes, but she never told a lie. I land.
All right. I think Denise, did you finish up what you were saying
Uh,
though?
the the last one I can't really see. It says, did old folks
Fellas today.
fail
Yep.
fail the younger generation?
Yep.
Um, that's a good question. I, I I'm honestly kind of torn on my answer, to be honest with y'all, because I could see in some ways where we could be failing, but maybe not necessarily have completely failed yet.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Because I think that if we can try to be open-minded and see where we can fix ourselves, then we can actually talk to our younger generation. I think that there needs to be healthy dialogue between the older generation and the younger generation, and there's got to be some open-mindedness on both parts. Say, you know what? I got it wrong with you. Okay? Don't try to be defensive. Don't try to, deflect. Say, you know what? Listen, I have a 25-year-old daughter. I have a 20-year-old daughter, and my son is 17. He'll be 18 soon. If there's ever a time where I feel like I've miscommunicated with any of my children, I sit them down. I try to help them understand the context of what I was trying to get across and where I think the miscommunication
Food, I'm gonna
happened.
switch you out.
Okay.
That's on my go. You can go ahead, my bad.
And then I tell them, what are you taking away from what I'm saying to you right now? And then they respond with their answer, and then we meet in the middle. We're not meeting in the middle with each other anymore. So I'll land my plane there. Thank you for the time.
For sure, for sure, for sure. Touche. Then we gonna get middle road, then open panel.
Well, I don't feel like the older generation failed us. I feel like the older generation is just trying to pass on knowledge that worked in their times, and they just not receptive to some of that stuff not being able to work in their time. Um, Somebody said something. Because I mean, I respect my elders. You feel me? So I could see that some of them tried. My mom said the best. She didn't have it all together. She was going and she figured it out. I don't think she failed me. I think that she gave it the best she could. And I think as people, the older people they got to realize that the times have changed. You feel me? I think that they just have to be more receptive and find a way to meet in the middle. I had this conversation on Cousins live, and I was like, the problem is that in order for you to reach the youth, you have to find a level playing field that will hold their interest. And I think a lot of elders don't want to do that. They like, no, just do what I said because I said it. And it's like, well, you ain't even building rapport with them. So now you just basically telling them to listen to you because you've been here longer. To point the finger at somebody and say, as the older or the younger generation, what a problem today. I mean, I think it's both. I think it's equal to problem. The younger generation ain't listening, and the older generation ain't listening. So I think it's both to blame. I just think it's more put on the elders because it's like, man, y'all been here longer, right? And it does go, and it goes up, and like I was saying earlier, it's a chain. It's like a chain. Like I said when I came in here, I said, Kev, you like big bro, right? Me and you, we 30 going up. We big bros to them. Then it goes OGs
Hey,
after
Touche,
us.
let me say this too. I want to add this in there though. I want everybody to think on this. Why I can get the opposite in, right, with younger and going towards older, but I'm gonna put it this way. Why is older folks acting like the younger folks? I'm just gonna leave it like that. But go ahead, Touche.
Oh, but wait. I don't want to say that they are. I just want to say that the way that they were taught is something that was passed down to them, right? Like everybody in here could possibly say kids are to be seen and what? Not heard. That's not a cool way to go, right? And a lot of our elders operated off of that. You a kid, go be in a kid's place. But these kids are smart. These kids are not, they ain't like, they're not coherent of what's going on. They know what's going on. And just because of the elders feel like the way they was taught is the right way, it's kind of like, bro, times change, everything changed. I think everybody just had to be more receptive to each other and stop trying to control them. Stop trying to say, do this because I said so. Somebody said a statement too. A fool learns from their own mistakes. Experience is the best teacher for progress.
No. Wait. A fool learns from somebody else's mistakes. No, I'm sorry.
No, you said
A wise, damn.
you said a wise man learns from
He
someone
came in
else's
there with
mistakes.
his chest out and messed up.
Yeah.
A
No,
fool
I
learns
said,
from their own mistakes. A wise man learns from other people's mistakes.
yes, and I agree that works for some people, but I think that some people actually need to do something to learn.
Yep.
Like you saying, hey, bro, don't do that because it did not work for me, and then bro do it and it worked for him. Then it looked like you just was hating on them. You get what I'm saying? So I think that you got to let people be human and experience their stuff and gain the knowledge off of their experience. Because just because it did not work for you, don't mean it won't work for me.
Hey, bro came in like, hey, no, it's actually.
But hey, touche.
Yeah.
How about, let me counter by saying this. We could repackage that and say, hey, you know what, little bro? I did the same thing you did, and it might work for you, but just be on the lookout for X, Y,
That's
Z.
a better way. That's the better way to give it to the
That's
youth,
Yeah,
right?
it
that's
is.
the
That is a
reframe,
better.
right? That's the reframe right there.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. It's not what you like. I said, me and Kev is in our 30s, so we big brother them. And I had a conversation. I had this conversation with cousin them. I'm like, when somebody is way older and y'all don't have nothing to relate with them to, they're not listening to y'all because they like we don't have nothing similar in common. You can sit here. Somebody can come in here and be like, son, Run DMC. I know who Run DMC is. But a 25-year-old don't know who Run DMC is. Y'all can't
Mhm.
connect with them. Y'all have to find a equal playing
I
field.
get you on that. I
You
get
get what
you.
I'm saying? And Kev, we are the middle piece. So when they say when y'all say did old folks fail them? No, I just think that the old folks need to realize that y'all got another generation underneath y'all, and we can reach them. It's supposed to
Hmm.
be it's supposed to be like a tree branch effect, right? You guys can be the trunk of the
The
tree.
bridge connector. Yeah, I get you.
Exactly, but we are the ones that's go get to them. Because, like I said, an older person can say, "Yeah, I listened to Run DMC. This is real music back in the day." These younger generation, you bring up Run DMC today, they gonna look at you crazy. They're gonna be like, "Who are you talking about?" But we know who it is. We just have to figure out a smarter way to handle and
Yeah,
deal
we
with
got
it.
to bring up Baby Shark for them. All right,
Yeah,
let me stop.
but what I'm saying is, we just have to feel like just because you older, don't make you right. It does not make you right. And I think a lot of our elders that I have came in contact with, and I'm gonna say this, not even in person and via the out the world, it's more mainly people on here who be like, no, I said what I said, and they be like, bro, you're wrong. Like that worked for your generation. That's not gonna work for this next generation. The times where you had to walk down the street to go get milk and it was 50 cents, milk is not 50 cents no more, bro. That's not gonna work. So it's just, I think you just gotta be
You know
receptive.
you're wrong for that.
I'm just saying, not like that. When y'all say milk was 50 cents, and
You
then
know
we
you're
tell you,
wrong for that.
all right, I'm sorry, I'm going
I'm
mute.
just teasing.
I'm
All right,
sorry, I'm going
real
mute.
quick, let middle roll go, and
Okay.
then we can do open panel after that. I guess we good for the rest of the night. Now we're open panel after middle roll.
Okay. I've been first of all, thank you for letting me up. Let me say that
For
first.
sure, for sure, for sure.
I've been listening for a while, and this is an interesting conversation. And you guys have hit on it quite often in some of these things that are being said. The old folk you're talking about are you, and you are what
Yep.
they will become. The human condition has not changed. It hasn't. What has changed is the methods in which we do things. But the overall things we're trying to accomplish, which is a lot of the stuff that was being said about here, is how to do something. If your goal is, as a gentleman said about walking down the street, milk for 50 cents. If it costs $5 a day, the task is still the same, getting milk, right? So, and a lot of these things I find that this back and forth is usually about how to do something. And people say, hey, you know what? There's a new way of doing this. Got it. But what's the overall task? You guys said it earlier about the benefit of experience. An older person, depending on who they are, has experienced what you're trying to do, right? And they're hard-headed, just like you're hard-headed now. It's the same people. They're not different. And when I find these conversations, you heard me say this the other night. For me, I tend to have lesser issues with younger people in terms of certain ones by saying, what are you trying to accomplish? If we can focus, you and I, on what you're trying to accomplish, a lot of that stuff goes down in terms of this whole, dissension stuff. Because now it's not about me saying, well, hey, listen, what's the new way versus old way? What are you trying to do? I may know the old method to getting something done. You may know the new methodology to get it done. At the end of the day, we can collaborate together and move forward. But if I see you as being somehow, what you guys say, the op, that kind of stuff, right? Then we're not going anywhere. And I find a lot of these conversations the same way when I was in my 20s, dudes were talking about guys in the 60s, get that old fool out of here. I'm hearing the same crap now that I'm in my 60s. Some guy in his 20s talking about, get that old fool out of here. Things are different. No, it's not. Life says eat, sleep, seek shelter. I don't care who you are. That's going to be the same no matter what you do, so long as you're on this earth. So at the end of the day, I hear these conversations, and it's funny that I'm listening to it, but I like what Alta said before. Hey, man, I'm you, me. And I'll step back from there.
That's some good stuff. We opening, Kev, or what we doing?
Yeah, it's open.
Nah,
It's open now.
nah, Ra, we're not talking about no 50-cent milk.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Going on with that 5-cent bubble gum. Going on.
Yeah, we don't
I
get
don't
that.
want. Stop talking to me.
We
I'm
ain't,
done with you.
we ain't getting no more top.
You
Mama
need
was
to
50
respect
cent.
your elders, okay?
Oh man, look, see.
I'm just teasing, but no, but
Hey, Touche, you my little bro. I can't call you.
well, you need to do something
somebody
with
big
it.
No,
bro.
you right.
You
You
my
right.
little bro.
I
Cause
listen.
Because
I'm
I'm
the one that you
OG, triple
seeing.
OG.
Nah,
Yes.
do something with him, 50 Cent Milk.
Listen, I'm the one
Yes,
y'all seeing to talk to the younger group, man. I'm the
I
one
know
y'all
that's
seeing.
right. No, but you said some
right.
good stuff, and that's real. Again, that's why I was saying, I don't know if you was in here when I was just telling them we have to come different, because that
That's what
what
she
worked for
said.
us not gonna work for the ones after us.
Kev, go
It's
on
just not.
timeout.
Petty.
Kev, go on timeout, Kev. Go on mute. Go
Oh
on mute.
wait,
Go
what
on
did he
mute for
say?
30 seconds because you know that was out of line.
I didn't even hear what he said.
No, don't worry about it. Kev, go on
you
mute for 30 seconds.
you
You out of
said we
line.
had to come different.
He
Oh
always go there
man,
with
you
that. That's
know
what
what?
he should.
You
Somebody
know
call
what?
Rachel.
Wait, Rod, you officially a part of the group now that he done did this.
I mean, jeez, I feel naked.
But yeah,
Put
no,
some
what
clothes on.
it go back to what I'm saying. Like,
Where my
y'all,
drawers at?
the way
But
to the way to get our people to get closer and for us to get on get on the right track is
mhm.
by y'all sending somebody of the younger that can connect with them
Right.
to connect with so they can be connected too, and it's gonna keep going like that because one
I
day,
agree. I have a 21-year-old. I
yeah.
agree.
So guess what? I'm pretty sure that me and your 21-year-old, I'll be like, hey bro, you like them Jordans? Hey bro, you listen to that Kendrick
Hey, she
Lamar?
a
Hey,
girl.
well, hey, you a
Don't
homegirl?
be doing. Wait a minute.
Assumption. We just got to talk about that in last live.
Yeah,
That's
to
Assumption.
call
right.
my
Yeah.
baby a Mr. Lady. What's wrong with
I'm
you?
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I ain't mean to call her Mr. Lady.
Yes, you did. 50
Look,
Cent Milk.
see, look, little sis.
Hey,
Hey, you want to be a
yo.
nurse? Whoop de whoop whoop. Don't stay away from that boy. He ain't no good. I see, like that. Like
Yeah.
they go listen to us more than they go listen.
Right, but this is what I was telling them. Like, thank goodness, at 21 she's still pure on a fourth year of college. So I'm grateful, really. But then I did put in the work, and I had to be teachable and be willing to learn, though. And I wanted to say something about the people before us. I like I said, I extend so much grace because they got a story too. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't there. We don't know what they've been through and where they come from. And it's only softer for us, and I'm an 80s baby. It's only softer for us because they had it so hard, in my opinion. That's just my own personal opinion. It don't make me right, and I'm willing to learn something. So that's all I wanted to put in.
And what's the crazy thing about it is, I'm gonna tell y'all even something like this. Y'all ever look out for somebody younger than y'all and they be ready to go to war about you? Like, yeah, I
Of
ain't playing
course.
about Miss Denise or I ain't playing about Ra.
Of course.
Man.
Of
They
course.
turn into because they so filled with the energy and the adrenaline. They like, you disrespect my OG,
Yep.
I'm gonna take it there. They be
Yep.
ready to
I
go there
drove
for
school
y'all.
buses for years.
See?
And when I tell you I drove for all boys school one year, them boys didn't play about me. You know what I mean?
Oh
But it
my
was a respect
god.
thing. It was because of the respect. And they, all the time, oh, them the bad ones. They don't nobody want to drive that route. And I'm like, I don't have them problems. But that's because I talk to them, I respect them, and I listen to them. You know what I mean? They are people. They're their own person.
I ain't
Yeah.
listening to them.
Yeah.
Huh?
That makes sense.
And that's the crazy thing about it is because once you win, like I said, once you guys find a
Y'all
connection with the
messy over
youth,
here.
once you find a connection with the youth, right? They will go to bat for you.
Yeah, yeah.
They will stand in front of you. It could be somebody getting on you or get ready to do them. I guarantee you, them boys are probably jumping in anybody's face for you and protect you.
I swear it wasn't gonna
Uh,
happen. Not on that
see?
At
watch.
least with
I
Mr.
was gonna share
Jones.
with I was gonna share with y'all my experience of seeing this actually in real time because
Come
I
on,
joined the
girl.
military. I joined the military at 17 years old, right? So I was literally the youngest
Thank you for
person
your
in basic
service.
training. Oh, thank you for your support. So I served 20 years. I literally served my whole adult life from 17 to 37 in the Army. And I say that to say this, I went from being the youngest person in my unit. I didn't make it to the oldest. Don't do me like that. But I got to see that transition of being the young troop on the block to becoming big sis, having soldiers under me that were starting at their first duty station. And then, matter of fact, my last duty station, I was 37 teaching my 16-year-old how to drive and my 21-year-old soldier how to drive at the same time. It was like a full circle moment, because she came to the unit, nobody taught her how to drive. So I say all that to say this, like at every point in time, I was learning from people older than me. And then when I became the older person, when went from the mentee to the mentor, right? When I came from being led to being a leader, I had the older people that instilled so much in me that I listened and I was able to pay it back full circle. And everybody's going to have that opportunity. So it is wise to listen and pick up whatever you can pick up from the older generation. And if they're doing something that you don't agree with, don't take that into consideration then. That's not going to work for you. Okay, I'll land there. Thanks.
Biddle, you wanted to say something. I see your head in the comments.
Just real quick for the young lady who just spoke. The 20-year-old, the 21-year-old, and the 16-year-old. Did you see yourself in them?
Well, my 16-year-old was my daughter, so absolutely.
Okay.
Literally and figuratively, I see myself in her.
Therein lies
That's
my
why
point. I'm sorry.
I try to stay calm. I try to stay calm with her because my mom told me something that was interesting. When we would butt heads with each other in her teenage years, she would say to me, Denise, don't get mad at her for pulling a you on you. Now, you know, that's something that you would have said when you were 15 too. And then I
And
would
that
have to take a step back and think about it. My mom was right.
and that's my point. They are you. You're them. The
Yep.
same we keep telling ourselves
The
that we're different.
21-year-old was my soldier.
No, I
So
got that. No, I'm saying in terms of
yeah.
the things that you see, it's a repeating of a cycle. What changes is the methodology. Like I said, in terms of, we got Teslas now, right? When I first started driving, there was no such thing as even a cell phone, right? But now we got Tesla cars that can drive themselves. But end of the day, the underlying task is the same, but the people, they're the same people. They're the same people, that same blank slate who came into this world and is intent upon pushing that envelope. That person existed for eons. That ain't going to stop. And to this whole conversation, I think that is best, let me rephrase that. It works in certain situations, whereas you know what you're trying to accomplish. And once you focus on that, listen, I was a kid too. My first time staying out all night long, my mother didn't know. She lost her mind, right? But the whole thing was, to me, it's like, what's the problem, right? But because my brothers did it, what's wrong with me? At the end of the day, it's kind of like, when my children came of age, you better not hang out all night. Well, why not? Because I'm worried about you, that kind of stuff. So, again, like I said, at the end of the day, you're me, I'm you, and we're all together in this whole thing. And as long as we, kind of realize that we're trying to all move ahead, I think we have a lot less issues with that.
Middle, you ain't told not one lie. I was waiting on a lie. You ain't told not one lie. I have a 21-year-old, and I be about to lose it. Do you hear me?
Yeah, listen.
And and let me tell you, so she's home for the summer for college. So she's not, here all the time. But when she is, she like to hang out with her friends and catch up, and they go do little stuff or whatever. And again, she's not a wild, a young adult, but it does, the world. Again, I've been here longer, so I know a little more, or it ain't as serious at 21 as it is when you're 40. It's a little different. It look different.
And also the parents, then your children. Just so again to make this up, because I came from a larger family, right? And I think that some people they keep. Let me put it this way here: an older person talking to you has watched you grow, right? In some situations, and so they know you better than you think, right? And so they're saying, "Listen, I know your personality. I saw that with John 40 years ago, right? So now knowing your personality." In their mind, they're helping you avoid obstacles. That's how they seen you, right? Because they're seeing the child in you. And some people obviously are growing up saying, "Listen, young man, I ain't no kid. Let me do what I got to do." And so there's that, like I said, there's that weird balance in understanding that, hey, listen, yeah, you just said it. You saw that same personality 40 years ago. So it just reappeared. And like I said, when my first time staying out all night, my mother sent every one of my brothers to find me.
Yeah, I understand. And I'm an only child, and so is my daughter. We're the only child. So, that's all I got,
Like I see, because my brother stayed out all night long all the time. I didn't. So she knew me. It's like, hey, that ain't normal for him.
That's right.
The whole point being, I think it was on Alta said it, give the person grace because they're not trying to hurt you.
That's right.
That's the key. That's my mother's favorite line. Even though she may be wrong, she'll tell you, I may be wrong in what I told you, but understand it's never my intention to hurt you. I step back from there.
That's right. I love your breakdown. Is it open or what we doing, Kev?
Oh boy, it got quiet up in this thing. All right, it's still open.
Hey,
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
I gotta drop this for sure, for sure, for sure. What
Okay.
y'all? Somebody was saying something?
Mr.
I think Miss
F.
Denise
Feelings, how
was.
you doing? I was just saying good evening to Mr. F. Your feelings. How you doing?
Y'all know I'm good. I'm over here writing these damn lyrics for my boy. He wanted me to compose something for him, so I was like, shit, I ain't got no problem with it.
Nice. Yeah, Kev, I love this space. I really do. And I don't go on like on people panels. I usually stay in the comments and stuff, but I'm trying to come up more and just kind of have conversations with people.
My bad. That's my neighbor's dog.
Well,
I don't like it, man.
I got a
Little
question
muskrat.
for everybody on the panel then. Since we in an open panel, I got a question for y'all, and it's related to the topic.
Okay.
So I work at a gym. I'm a personal trainer,
Hmm.
and I'm the oldest person on my staff, right? So you got the managers, you got the front desk staff, and then you got me. I'm kind of on an island. I'm the only trainer at the facility, and it's got its own position. So I report directly to the management. So the staff is like, their age ranges are like 21 to 29. So this 22-year-old just met him for the first time, only worked with him for 2 shifts, and on the second shift, he comes over to me in front of my client. I'm in the middle of a session. And he says, "Hey, Auntie, they want to talk to you over at the front desk." Now, my name tag says Denise on it, doesn't say Auntie. But what do y'all think? Now, again, I'm 44, he's 22 at the most.
Hmm.
How would y'all handle that situation from either the younger perspective or the older perspective? And then again, that was in front of my client. I think that was my biggest take on out. He just,
Hmm.
yeah, I known him 2 days in front of my client.
I think it's understanding where he is, in his generation and their era. I get what you're saying because of the setting, and so I don't want to do apples to oranges. But long story short, one of my neighbor's sons, he's like 28, and I came out one day and he was like, "Hey, what's up, OG?" I looked around, I'm like, "Who he talking to?" I was like, "Who are you talking to?" And he was like, "You." I said, "No, you not." So I laughed, but when I thought about it, I was like, "I am," But because of the setting, I get it. But I mean, I don't think he meant nothing by it. But I get what you're saying. I would just talk to him about it and just, if it made you feel a way.
My response would have been very simple. What's my name?
That's
Right there.
exactly what I said. That's
What's
exactly what I said. Because like we were in front of my client in the middle of the training session, and so you kind of like inserted yourself in the middle of my work time. I think that was what did it first. And then when I heard what he said, it was like I'm like Auntie. I looked down at my name tag. I was like, my name tag don't say Auntie. It says Denise. This is exactly what I said. I said, "What's my name?"
and it just for me that's kind of like a
And I
natural.
don't know you like that. Like,
Right, you
that's
got
the
it.
thing. I don't know you like that.
I don't know
This
you
is my
like that.
second shift. This is my second shift working with you. I don't know you like that.
Right. Even on TikTok, people, they call me that. They be like, "Oh, okay, auntie," or "big sis," or "big auntie," or whatever. Like even on TikTok, I get that. So like I said, I get
Right.
it. But
Yeah.
again, it's just that generation.
Yeah, I get that too. But like TikTok is like, it's a personal setting. Like none of us are on the clock right now.
Right,
You know
right.
what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I
So
said I understand the
yeah.
setting. So I get it, but I would definitely put, just let them know, like, just let them know how you feel.
If someone called me auntie in this setting, I would let it roll off my back. It's,
Yeah, I
that's
get it.
just what they say. I would take it the way that you're saying. Like that's just what that's what they say. And that's fine. I'm somebody's auntie.
I know that's right.
Fine as hell auntie too.
And
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, that's the way you took it. I would tell. Did you say something to him afterwards or no?
No, not like not not off the gym floor. I kind of dealt with it in the moment. I just said, "What's my name?" Like I
Mm-hmm.
just kind of like looked at him weird because I thought that was weird. Like, you know me like that?
I like it because it was you corrected him on up front. I really like that. But I would have furthered that once it was over. Me personally, if you
Okay,
feel the way you feel about it, I definitely would have said something.
right. Because they also got another issue with like being in each other's personal space.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, if y'all like that, great. That's why my trainer section is off to the side away from the front desk because I don't work with the front desk people. Because I don't like when it gets busy at the gym and like people start coming in and needing different things, they
Mm-hmm.
start to look at me like I'm supposed to come and bail them out. A-
Mm.
And that's not my job because when the roles are reversed, none of y'all can help me.
Yep.
I got to do all my training sessions. So there's more of y'all than me. Y'all should be able to handle it, you know?
Yeah.
But I'll land my little crop duster, you know, it was hovering for a minute.
Oh goodness. Yeah, I don't see nothing wrong with it. I
All
get it.
right, y'all. We gonna make these last rounds. I'm gonna call it a night so I can give you some rest for the morning.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
My weekends be so they gonna fast. They be having me working on Saturdays.
Oh yeah, that
Well,
makes
yeah, I'm gonna try to see if I can squeeze some more lives in during the week because I'm just trying to keep building my platform up. Or I might be in Rachel room, so we just gonna be alternating it
well, I definitely followed.
for sure. Appreciate you, man. I love all y'all perspectives, y'all point of view and stuff, and we can agree and disagree. And this has been a long time for that, you know what I'm saying. But I appreciate all y'all though. But any last words for y'all? We could start with K and then go up and then end it with Alter.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I was just gonna say y'all have a wonderful night. You know what I'm saying? Peace, prosperity throughout the week. You know, it's about to start a new week and everything. Everybody be safe. All I gotta say to it.
All right, for sure, brother. What you got, Ra?
I'll piggyback and I second that, and I'll be back again.
For sure. Good to have you, for sure. Believe me, some of my topics can get some people shaky because I talk about everything. But let's see how long you can stay on this ride. But Denise, what you got for me, Coach?
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Drink
For
water.
sure.
It's hot outside, y'all. Drink water.
For sure. For
Have a good night.
sure.
Have a great
All
night.
right. Yep, you too. What you got for me, Middle Road?
Alta owes me $5. Logic
Dang.
is my lane. Stay out of it.
Shoot, if she not asleep, she be falling asleep.
Probably, but not.
Probably got to get it in
Listen,
that dream.
yeah, like I told you, I like these conversations and that you keep it light, and even though they could be intense, again, it's like some of these questions they may seem simple, but the responses are really complex. They really are when you start thinking about context and how things actually work in life. So I appreciate that. So, and you guys don't kick me out, so I'm good with that. So thank you.
For sure, for sure. What you got for me, Touche?
That 50 cent meal.
Well, I guess everybody gone out there. I know. Alta, you sleep? I think she sleep. All right, y'all. I'll catch y'all later, though.
All right. Good night, y'all.
Dang. Okay, I just saw the message. My bad.
I know, yeah. So she done let you up and stuff. But all
It's
right,
okay.
y'all. I'll catch y'all. Everybody want to come in when I get off. That's crazy work. But I'll catch y'all. I'll try to get in tomorrow then if I can catch y'all. Y'all can catch me early enough. But I'll catch up
All
with y'all.
right. Have a good night.
All right.